Yes, indeed. Hope your Tuesday's going well. Hopefully your Halloween went well.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it's
Just like Kitty Cat.
Yesterday we were driving home from the Rams game.
Yeah.
And she said,
Are those cats having sex or something? That is very...
wow.
Yeah.
And they're probably...
You ever heard of...
You know, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see us actually playing the air bass. I jam.
Well, you playing it.
Beam, ba bum.
I'm eating pop.
Beam, ba boop, doom, da ding.
Did you see USC is number 9, Cappy? In the college football playoff ranking or whatever that just came out today?
I
The
am
first
looking
one.
at this, yeah. But I'm kind of surprised that Utah, check me, is 2 spots ahead. You got that?
2 spots ahead?
I'm looking at the College Football Power Index. Am I looking at something different than you're looking
No,
at?
you're looking at something different.
Yeah. All right, then no, I haven't. To answer your question, no.
It's on your TV right now, actually. If you want to
Let's
turn
see
it
here. Tennessee, Joey Galloway. That's what I'm looking at right now on TV. Are you
on.
watching
Yeah, on
ESPN?
the right side, they have the rankings.
Oh, all right. Illinois
They're
is
just going to be
16.
scrolling. Yeah.
North Carolina is 17. Syracuse is 20. Tulane, hey, that's where my daughter goes to school, 19.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Like, she goes to school there, and she even works for the football team, and I'm, like, barely engaged. I was at some friend's house last night for Halloween. Their kids both go to TCU, and you would think that this guy is the head coach of the TCU football team. That's how into TCU football my friends are.
Good for them. They're 8-0 or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way he kind of justifies it, he's like, look, dude, I'm spending $100,000 a year there. I might as well get into the football team. Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
I got that.
Yeah, they're number 7. They're 8-0. Oregon is 8. USC is 9. LSU is 10. Alabama is number 6 at the moment.
Did I see Tennessee's 1?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I mean, they have the best win in college football this year. They beat Alabama.
Yeah, that's true. Tennessee 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3. Now, Tennessee and Georgia play this weekend, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a game.
Yeah. If Georgia loses that game, they might be out, which is kind of crazy.
All right,
because they will have lost the SEC East. That means that they will not play in the SEC championship game unless Tennessee loses somewhere.
So there's
but
SC
USC,
at 9.
USC, UCLA, Utah, and Oregon. Oregon is 8, USC is 9, UCLA is 12, and Utah is 14. Those are the 4 teams in the Pac-12. And all that will get resolved that day that you were just discussing when USC plays UCLA, barring an upset beforehand, obviously. But if all 4 teams come in exactly the same at this stage, that Utah-Oregon game and UCLA-USC game will determine the top 2, more than likely, in the Pac-12.
Let me tell you, man, for as great as it is for the Pac-12 to have 4 teams even in this college football playoff rankings top
Pretty
25.
awesome. It's never happened, I don't think.
I can't remember the last time. Yeah, where 4 Pac-12 teams have gotten this sort of national notoriety. Oregon, you expected it going into the season. Utah as well. USC, I mean, I'm not surprised, and this was certainly my expectation that they would be competing right away. But the story of all 4, the Cinderella story of all 4 of them, is that UCLA very, very quietly, George, has worked their way into the national conversation. Not just because they're attached at the hip with USC and leaving for the Big Ten, but because they're actually now legit, at least this season.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're good.
Good for UCLA.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't go firing coaches right away. Give a guy a little bit of time to breathe.
I agree. People were going nuts last year when I said, keep Chip Kelly. And they're like, what are you talking about? And it's like, dude, you're UCLA. Relax.
Well, you keep going through
let him
coaches.
build something.
Yeah, right. You just keep going through them, and it's Rick Neuheisel, and it's Carl Durrell, and it's Jim Mora Jr., and I'm sure there's a million other names that I've not brought up here recently.
By the way,
Yeah.
look at the Raiders. Mark Davis said he gave Josh McDaniel the vote of confidence or whatever.
should give him the vote of confidence. There's another guy. Just let the coach coach. Even if we all don't think he's very good right now, just let him coach and get out of his way and consider changing your quarterback after all these years.
Well, that's not his decision to make either. You know what I mean? Like, that's the coach's decision and the GM's decision.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I'm an owner, I'm not trying to act like I know more than the football guys. Would you?
Well,
yeah, you would.
Yeah.
We know
but
that.
but in my particular case, George.
Oh, my God. You would be one of the most challenging owners to work for, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
But that's only because I'm probably the smartest football guy in the room.
Right.
Like, if me and Bill Belichick are in the room and I tell Bill what I think he should do, he'd probably be pretty smart to listen to what I say.
Lindsay, how challenging do you think Cappy would be if he was, like, the owner of an NFL team?
I think
would he be like Jerry Jones? Like, who would he be?
I don't think you'd be like Jerry Jones whatsoever.
You don't think he'd be trying to run the draft?
No, I feel like Rachel would be running the draft.
All of a sudden, that would be making
very good,
visual.
Lindsay Baseball.
It'd be
Very
like
good.
Dee Haslam kind of runs the Browns, I guess, these days.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all these owners, man, they all think they know more than everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
only because they're billionaires, but not because they actually know anything about football, though.
Well, I mean, some guys think they do. Maybe they do. I mean, Jerry Jones played football in college.
I mean, in
He's owned the
Arkansas
team
in
for
like
30-something years.
1960, for God's sake.
So what? So who cares, man? The guy
You
was
don't
a
think
ball
football
player.
has changed in 50, 60 years?
I don't know. They still use that brown pigskin kind of thing, right? They've certainly,
Right.
gotten better at equipment. I mean, the face masks have changed. The
Yeah.
leather has turned into plastic, etc.
Laura, if Cappy was an owner of a professional sports franchise, would he would absolutely be trying to get up in the videos like like they used to say back in the day, all up in the videos.
Oh yeah, he'll be all up in the smoke.
Yeah, you don't want a producer to get up all in the videos and come to death row. That they would be talking about you, Cappy. You'd be the producer getting all up in the videos.
Well, listen, again, I just want to say this. If I owned a football team, I would definitely share my opinions with the football people that I hire to do the job. But if a tough decision, an executive decision, has to be made, George, I'm willing to make that call. I'm willing to make that call. It's a tough call, but you got to make that call.
In that scenario.
Yeah, listen, here's me. Hey, Josh, because now I'm Mark Davis right now.
Right.
Or check that. I'm me and I own the Raiders.
Okay, you own the Raiders. You're
Right.
Cappy.
Right. Hey, Josh.
Mr. Cappy.
Right. Hey, Josh, listen, here's the thing. I bought the team and you were already the coach. So I'm just going to leave you for a while, okay? But here's the thing. This quarterback right here, he ain't very good.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 5 different head coaches, 7 or 8 different offensive coordinators. We've had this guy as our starter for 10-plus years. We've been to 1 playoff game. I'm telling you right now, we're done with this guy. So figure out who our next quarterback is. That's what I'd be doing if I owned the Raiders. What kind of owner do you think you would be?
Oh, I would be the one that I'd want to be in the room to hear all of it, but at the end of the day, I'm hiring people to make the right decisions. Like that, I'm entrusting them to make the decisions. If they're people I've vetted and all the people I've vetted through believe this is the person to make those decisions, whoever's got that final say is getting that final say. That's it. They're only coming to me about like checkbook stuff.
Okay, got it. Speaking of checkbooks, quick question here. Are we all going to jump back into the lottery? What's it going to be on Wednesday? Because yesterday we were talking about $1 billion.
$1.2 billion. Yeah.
1.2 bill. Wednesday's drawing is 1.2 bill.
Mm-hmm.
And today is Tuesday.
Correct. So that means you should buy your tickets today because you know you're going to forget tomorrow.
Okay, so I got to go somewhere to buy lottery tickets for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to go to like a little mom and pop liquor store. That's where I'm going to go.
All right. As opposed to like a gas station?
Or like a name brand, like a 7-Eleven or a Valero or an AM/PM. I'm going to a mom and pop owned liquor store and buying my tickets.
Why?
Why is that?
I feel like that gives me a better chance, does it not?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I had to I had this combo earlier today. Well, Mason and Ireland originally thought that the more people that buy the tickets, the less chance you have of winning, which is not the case because
No.
the 6 numbers are drawn regardless of how many people. So I just feel like I'm just curious as to why you think you have a better chance based on where you go buy your tickets.
I feel like if I'm in a like very rich neighborhood and I walk
So you're
into
saying
a
someone in
convenience store.
Beverly Hills would, if you bought a ticket in Beverly Hills, you'd never win the lottery.
That's what I think. I don't know if I'm
You
right.
think that
That's just what I think.
the random lottery number picker machine cares about where you live?
No, not where I live, but perhaps where I bought the ticket. Yeah.
All right, let's discuss this a little further on the other side, because I do want to. I'd love to kind of hear your logic to this, because it sounds ridiculous, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out. But also, today was the trade deadline in the NFL, and there was a lot of activity, and then there was also a lot of inactivity by certain teams. We'll get to that next.
Don't miss
And on this day in 1999, Jennifer Lopez released her single, Waiting for Tonight. Sedano Kap. Tuesday afternoon continues now.
Did Chris just do the cat thing that we were talking about yesterday again?
No, I think he did Lindsay doing the cat thing.
I think it's a drop. But yeah.
Good song.
Lindsay, can you reproduce the sound when cats have sex?
It's not when cats have sex. It was.
We should just say when cats make love.
when my cat
It's for the
was in
parents in
heat.
the car, they don't want to turn
Really?
it down.
It was
Why?
when, it was my cat's like mating call, because it was when my cat was in heat.
Wait, why are you talking to me about really why?
The word sex
No.
is so bad.
Well, I don't have an
Just trying
issue
to
with
clean
it.
it up
I
a
think
little,
we're
Cap.
very puritanical, but there are people in the car with little kids who probably don't want that particular word. So we could just say making love or getting it on or whatever. Is that
Right.
too much
Mating.
to ask of you?
Coloring,
Mommy,
they're
what does
coloring.
getting it on mean? Sedano just said on the radio, making love. Mommy, what does that mean?
Animals don't make love;
It
they
sticks
mate.
out way less than the word sex. I mean, but I don't care. Do
When
you, bro?
cats color, when cats color, people they're coloring. You know?
I'm just trying to look out for the parents out there. I know
these are
you
the-
don't care because your kids are all grown, but I know
Yeah.
there are people that listen to the show who have little kids.
You still
All right.
don't get uncomfortable like talking about that in front of your kids, even though they're grown? Because I feel uncomfortable.
Oh, I feel like Cappy has no issues being uncomfortable at all, doing anything in front of his kids at this stage.
The problem is that like my son, for example, like I'll ask him about girls and like getting down is I think the phrase you prefer, George. I ask him about it and he's like, no, dude, don't even ask. I'm not telling
Good
you
for
anything.
him. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to tell you
Yeah,
that.
good for him. You're already tracking his ass.
I know you're probably like, well, according to my app,
no,
your heart
no.
rate was up 2,000% earlier. What were you
Yeah.
doing?
You ready for this?
You were at like at Alyssa's house or something, or random
And-
chick, whatever.
And your battery life is only at 4%. Charge your phone, dog. No, truth is, he turned off his locations.
Good for him.
Good for him. See,
See,
Turn
no,
on his
you're only
location.
tracking the girls.
he must have been listening.
No, actually, my daughter Jillian, she turned off the locations too.
Good.
Good.
For them.
No, she's turning them back on. She definitely turning them back on. When she says I'm not, I'm gonna be like, okay, then pay your own rent. How about that?
Oh, look
How's
at
that?
that.
His that leverage?
I mean, it kind of is. There's
That
no
is a
question
leverage
about that.
situation.
Are you
George
telling
Sedano.
Justin the same thing?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
Turn
good.
them on, Jack,
Good.
or pay your own rent.
So, Cappy, to answer your question about lottery tickets,
Yeah.
according to a study done here, I'm seeing this on ABC News. If you ever thought that where you bought a lottery ticket would make a difference whether you'd win or lose, it's time to rethink your lottery strategy. No matter where you play the lottery, the odds of winning are the same. It's all random. It's all luck. Actually, someone in the community, Dead Meow 5, actually brought up the best point. I think the reason affluent areas rarely have lotto winners like Beverly Hills is because there's almost no convenience stores, and rich people ain't really buying lotto tickets. They got money, which is also fair.
That's true. Rich people don't gamble.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not so sure.
no,
Look, all
they
I'm saying
gamble,
is
but
this.
they're not buying lottery tickets.
I don't know why it is, but in my mind, I feel like if I go to a mom and pop owned liquor store versus 3 doors down to a convenience store that's branded 7-Eleven or whatever, I feel like I have a better chance at the mom and pop store. And more, I do believe that when the lottery ticket is won, the person who sells it is actually also entitled to a share. By the way, I shake
Right,
their hand
if the
right away.
if they get any prize that's claimed at like it's let's say you buy a ticket at a mom and pop store, they also get a not a percentage of the winnings, but they get some winnings as well.
But what I do, George, is I give a handshake. I give a bro handshake, and I'm like, my man. Or if it's a woman, my girl. Listen, I will be back after I win, and I'm taking care of you because you sold me this ticket. So I touch that person.
Yeah,
Okay?
you love to touch.
I do. I'm a touchy-feely kind of person,
Yeah.
even though I use antibacterial after I touch people.
So
I'll clean
anyway,
my
so
hands.
that's where you're going to buy the mom and pop. Now you've kind of flipped the narrative a little bit.
How so?
Well, now you're only buying it because they'll win something potentially. But
Well,
you
that's
were
a nice
saying,
thing.
You thought it increased your chances earlier.
I did. And so everybody has their own strategy when it comes to buying lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Laura, do you have a strategy that you employ when buying lottery tickets?
I usually don't buy lotto tickets because I suck, but this one's over $1 billion. So what we're doing is I'm buying some in LA, the Boo's buying some in the OC, and my mom has like the San Gabriel IE area.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hear that? Laura and her family,
They're
they
spreading
are
it across the
blanketing
city.
Southern
I mean, it
California.
doesn't really work, but
Right,
it
but
makes
they've
us
got
think.
right, but they've got IE, they've got LA, they've got OC.
And AV, my friend, is in it too.
Okay, all right. And George, are you going to be buying tickets for tomorrow's lottery?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be in Oregon tomorrow, so probably in somewhere in Portland. Yeah.
So see, you would you think there's a better chance in Oregon than you do in Southern
or
California?
no, it's because I literally have to leave right after the show to go straight to the airport.
This
and
is tonight?
I probably don't have well, I'm flying tonight.
Okay.
So I probably don't have a lot of time to stop if I want to make the flight.
You think you had a better chance of buying from a small place in Oregon than you do in LA?
I don't know, Cap.
Okay.
I was in Oregon over the summer, and it was a pretty big prize back then, and I didn't win then either. So
Oh, so you've bought lottery tickets in Oregon before?
over the summer when I was there, it was the last time it was a really big prize like this, and I didn't win there either. So
All right,
it
you're not
didn't
going to
really
win.
matter.
You're not going to win. Lindsay, you getting in on this or not?
Yeah, I'll buy tickets.
Okay, where are you buying them at?
Probably just a gas station near my house.
Okay.
The odds of winning are 1 in 292 million, no matter how many tickets are bought, no matter where you buy your ticket, no matter how many tickets you buy, it doesn't change your odds.
Okay, 192 million is my chance.
292 million.
So I'm 1 in 292 million.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'm gonna win it.
It's better than the Mega Millions. Those are about 1 in 302 million.
George, you know how I'm gonna win?
How are you going to win, Cappy?
I'm manifesting it.
Wow.
So you're the power of belief is what you're saying?
Right. I'm currently in a mode where I'm putting it out into the universe that I believe that I'm truly going to win the $1 billion+ lottery.
You know, Cappy, there's something to that because my friends that go to Vegas with me all the time always think it's crazy how I win so much. And I say, you got to go to the slot machine and like manifest it and close your eyes and like picture yourself with the bonuses and picture yourself winning. And they all think I'm crazy, but none of them ever walk away with the money that I do.
Right. See, you got to believe. You got to see it
I
to
really
believe
that. I really honestly do.
Now, there's a guy in our YouTube live chat right now that says, Cap, your daughter in Idaho should go get tickets. Jesse, that is a great idea. Yeah. I'm going to call my daughter in Idaho, and I'm going to call my daughter in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call my son in little teeny tiny town, West Virginia, and I'm going to tell them all to go buy $20 worth of lottery tickets because I think I'm more likely to win the lottery from a truck stop in Wheeling, West Virginia than I do from a 7-Eleven in downtown L.A. I truly believe that. I'm going to win,
possible.
George.
I'm
going
not
to win.
I hope you do. I told you if I would have won in Arizona, I would have shown up to work. You would have never known because it was anonymous.
Was Idaho on that anonymous list? Was Louisiana?
Hold on, let me look again.
Was Louisiana on that list? Was
you know what? Well, while I looked that up, you know who was anonymous today in the at the trade deadline? The Rams.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Didn't make a move. Everybody's looking at the Rams thinking, you guys are the ones that have made the trade deadline vogue and relevant. Fact of the matter
F them
is,
picks.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact is our whole lives, seriously, without exaggeration, the trade deadline in the NFL meant nothing. Mm-hmm. In baseball, everybody sits on pins and needles. Well, who's going to get traded to where?
Even the NBA, every once in a while, there's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the NFL, there is nobody going, ooh, big trades are coming. And then the Rams showed up.
Right.
And then the Rams made all these moves, made all these trades, and won a Super Bowl. So the trade deadline has become a vogue sort of a thing now.
Right. It's en vogue.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you thought that as teams were making moves, like to me, the Miami Dolphins going and getting this linebacker, Chubb, from Denver.
Yeah, the pass rusher. Yeah.
Right. Miami thinks they're a pass rusher away from making a run, or maybe they're 2 or 3 years away, but they'll be able to sign this guy, they think.
Because he's 26 years old, right?
Right. And he'll be, the kind of the cornerstone guy of their defense, or one of them. They think they got a quarterback now. They know that they've got one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Miami made a move today to get themselves better. Mm-hmm. Denver made a move to prepare for the future.
Right.
The Rams didn't do anything.
They did nothing.
I actually thought the Rams might go out on a limb today and go find an offensive lineman that could be like their guy going forward, like the star of their O-line. Didn't do that. Missed out on that Christian McCaffrey thing. Weekend change ago. I didn't think that was a good idea, but after what I saw this past weekend,
it was a good idea.
It was a damn good idea.
I don't know why you didn't think that was a good idea. I kept telling you, this dude, he's a safety valve. They have nobody that can block, and he's super elusive and can catch the ball pretty much anywhere. Whether it's out of the backfield, just a little slip screen pass to him. He can catch it over the middle. He can catch a ball down the field. Like, he's good, man. Like, he's really talented. And now you see it again when he's on a team that, I don't know, is also really talented.
Right. Well, I think that you said it. They don't have an offensive line, so I thought to myself, without an offensive line, why do you need a premier running back?
Well, you thought of just the running back part of it is the problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, he looked so good this past Sunday against the Rams with, San Francisco, no Deebo Samuel, who now can go back to playing the position he really wants to play, which is wide receiver, and he don't want to take that wear and tear on his body as a running back.
Right.
And so without him, we saw what the Niners did to the Rams. That's why I thought the Rams would do something today. Mm-hmm. I wonder if the Rams are behind closed doors looking at each other going, hey, guys, we won the Super Bowl last year. percentages say we're not likely going to win it again this year. So there's really not a move we can make that changes that necessarily.
Yeah. Right.
So let's not do anything.
Okay.
I wonder if that's what they're thinking.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that there probably wasn't a guy that they could get that would make enough of an impact. Like, I'm sure they would have loved to have had Bradley Chubb, much like they got Von Miller last year, but they didn't have a first-round pick to give up.
Yeah, there was one story, though, about them trying to give up picks in years into the future. This sounds like we're talking about the Lakers, by the way. You know, doesn't it? Like, team that was good at one time, won a championship.
Well, no, they have very similar trajectories. They
Yeah.
both went all in for championships, and now they find themselves in a really tough situation.
Yeah, but there was a story I read earlier today about how the Rams were trying to get this defensive end from Carolina, who, honestly, like if I told you his name, you'd be like, I've never heard of that guy before.
Right. Can you tell me the story on the other side?
Of course I can.
Okay, then let's do that. But by the way, in between, if you want to get a discount on ESPN Plus and the Disney Plus bundle, you can by going to ESPNLAbundle.com to learn more. Stream live sports and original content. You get the 30 for 30 library, unrivaled UFC access, and including the exclusive pay-per-views, coverage of 35 PGA Tour events and thousands of hours of college sports. Get that ESPN Plus Disney Plus bundle today, and you can only get the discount if you go to this website and this website alone. It's ESPNLAbundle.com. That's ESPNLAbundle.com to learn more.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason and Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app?
You guys.
You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Kap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Do you think Cappy kind of had like that little question mark above his head? Puritanical. And on this, it's Banana Pudding Lovers Month. So if you like banana pudding, tough guy, this is your month. On this day in 1982, Duran Duran released Rio as a single
Rio.
in the UK, yo. Sedano and Kap. Tuesday afternoon right now.
Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand. Just like that river moving through the dusty land. Did I get any of those words right, Linz?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you did, but I'm not so familiar with Duran Duran.
Duran
Sedano's
Duran's
the
a great
expert.
band.
Love this song. This is a great video, too.
It is a great video. They were on like a boat, right?
Yes, George, they were. They were on a sailboat, and they were cruising, and their hair was flying, and they had cool sunglasses on, and they looked dope AF, 80s style.
You know they're at Yamava, I think, like this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
I would
seen
totally
Duran
go to
Duran. Not long. I've seen them a couple of years ago. They were still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And I've seen you on TV. How was that?
They have like a lot of good hits, and they had kind of that resurgence in the '90s too. Again, like they were pretty, like they were pretty good still then too. They put out, I want to say, I don't remember what the name of the album was, but it was an album that had a number of hits, and they had taken off a long time, if I recall correctly.
I saw them a couple summers ago at a festival, and the place was jam packed, and everybody was singing every word to every song. It was awesome.
Yeah, I could see you being more like a Reflex guy. The Reflex, flex,
He's
flex,
the
flex,
only
flex.
child, yeah, waiting by the phone. Yeah. Reflex. It's a good song.
Or Hungry Like the Wolf.
I like Hungry by the Wolf.
Because you are always hungry. Yours would be more like Thirsty Like the Wolf, though.
Trying to really watch my diet, though. I'm starting to make some more conscious choices. I will admit that.
Yeah?
I will.
Why don't you just start with, like, less calories?
No, that's kind of part of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The healthy
it's
choices.
usually easier that way, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got it. I do. Hey, Chris also mentioned something else. He mentioned the word puritanical.
Yeah.
In that rejoin on a so usually we do live imaging Tuesdays around here, but Chris is apparently too busy, so this is taped imaging Tuesday. And
Yeah.
that
it's still live imaging because he's doing it live in the sense of, like, real time.
oh, because live is lit and taped imaging Tuesday is not. So I just want to make that distinction.
What I would call real-time imaging is what I would call it.
Okay.
Also,
gotcha.
I think part of it too is that Morales is not here to do live imaging Tuesday because you guys are also not here. So
No, that's actually not accurate. He told us days in advance he couldn't be here for live imaging Tuesday.
no, he just said this like yesterday.
Also,
Days in advance.
the guy works a lot. So if he wants to take a Tuesday here off or whatever, I'm good with it. Like, it's fine.
All right. But anyway, he did mention the word puritanical, and he's right. I didn't really want to stop at the moment and kind of get a definition.
Yeah.
But what was that all about?
It's just like someone who likes to, like, moralize based off, like, this religious belief. Like a lot of religions, particularly, are not all of them, but a good chunk of them are very, like, skittish about certain things, right? Like, and making love or getting it on or however you want to describe it is certainly one of them.
Yeah, right. But I said the word sex, and you said we're a puritanical show.
No, I didn't say we're a puritanical show. I said I understand that, I'm okay with it, because I don't live by these puritanical beliefs that most people live by, that, sex is bad or whatever. But, like,
terrible.
Yeah, but I also understand that when you have little kids in the car, like, I get it. I have little kids. That's it. That was all it was.
Oh,
you don't
all right.
have to get all bent out of shape. You
I'm
can say
not
whatever
bent out of
you
shape.
want.
No, it was puritanical. I didn't know what that meant,
Oh.
That's the point.
Right. It's like stuffy, right? Like moralistic or whatever,
Okay, got it. Well, that's not
what
me.
puritanical means.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
We do live in a puritanical society, though. Would you not agree with that? For the most part?
I would say that there are some very uptight people out there, and they're the people that when Janet Jackson had a uniform malfunction, they lost their freaking minds.
Right. And again, if we really want to dive into this, like we talked about this during Crosstalk. I don't know if you were there that day, but John and I and Mason were talking about, I think you were there. It might have been one of the days you were out. But we were talking about just like how the human body gets portrayed here in this country as opposed to other countries. Like, when you're in Europe, man, like, forget about just, obviously there's the beaches, right? And Ireland told a funny story about him and Lisa being in Italy, and he looked at her and was like, hey, what do you think? When in Rome?
Yep.
And she was like, no.
I do recall this conversation.
Oh, there you go. So you were there. So then I thought it was one of the days you were out to see Justin's game. But it's just, here people have a different belief of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. You can go to the beach and be nude for all I care. And also on television, it doesn't bother me. But to your point, Janet Jackson, the boobie gate was a thing. It was a big deal.
Do you think that people would get upset if I put the picture out of me naked with the three Mandys in front of me that you told me not to put out there because you could see that I was not properly manscaped?
I wouldn't care, but I would just say that, you might cause some trouble for yourself, and I might end up doing the show with somebody else in a couple days.
Jeez, really?
I don't think so. I think you'd be fine, Cappy, because I feel like there's a lot of, like, influencers or, like, famous people, whatever they do, that are, like, Instagram is, like, pretty racy. They don't let people show, like, any actual nudity, but
No, but what I'm saying is if you look at the reflection off one of the Mandys, you can see his Mandy.
oh, I think as long as you edit that part, Cap, like you need to like blur it out. Which you
I
can
didn't know.
easily
I don't
do.
know how to do it, man. I don't know how to do that.
I
But
would
if
tell you to send it to me, but I don't want to see that. So send it
Yeah.
to like one of the guys here that's okay with that.
In the meantime,
there
I have
you go.
one question for you guys before we move on.
Yeah, because you
George-
had a thing about the Rams. you
Yeah,
were
but
trying
George
to do.
Sedano, let me ask you something. Are you currently in the YouTube live chat, yes or no?
No.
Come on, bro.
I don't care for the
Bro,
YouTube live
get
chat.
involved here, will you? People are
Well, I'm
calling
already
for you.
involved.
They're clamoring for you in the YouTube live chat.
Okay.
They
I
want
love
you in
YouTube
there.
live chat.
They
I
want you
don't-
in there.
I don't have time.
You
He's
do
in
have
the middle of
time.
doing a radio show.
I mean, I'm trying to do the show, which is the most important part, instead of just chatting on YouTube.
Well, I mean, I'm multitasking
Okay.
over here.
Perhaps maybe that's why your performance may not be what it normally is.
Oh, you think I'm distracted, do you?
I mean, perhaps
All right. Well, let me get you back to this Rams thing. The Rams did not make a trade.
they did not.
There was a report today from Sports Illustrated that the Rams tried to make a gigantic offer, including their 2024 and 2025 first-round draft choices. Now, does this not sound exactly like the Lakers? Like the Lakers have been considering making a trade, but the holdup is they've got these 2 first-round draft choices, 27 and 29, and they don't necessarily want to part with them for players that don't immediately make them championship contenders. The Rams, it sounds exactly the same. They've got 2 picks in the first round, 24 and 25. They were putting them on the table to get a player, George. Tell me if you know who this guy is. Brian Burns.
No.
You want to know who he played for?
Carolina Panthers?
That's right.
Yeah.
When was the last time you've seen a Carolina Panthers game?
Actually, this weekend I saw them a ton on the Red Zone channel.
Okay. With Andrew Siciliano?
Yes, it was with Andrew Siciliano, who was our guest yesterday. By the way, Kirk Morrison will join us in about 5 minutes.
Great. So Brian Burns, you ask the average person who identifies himself as an NFL fan, who is Brian Burns? They'd be like, I don't know. Who's he play for? I had to look him up. Former first-round draft choice out of Florida State. Was like middle of the first round. This is going back to, I want to say, 2019. I'm not suggesting to you that I'm scouting the way Les Snead is scouting.
Right.
I'm just telling you I never heard of the guy. And
Okay.
according to the reports, the Rams tried desperately to make a move for a defensive end, somebody who can rush the passer.
Yeah, they need it. There's no question about it.
So no moves
But they
made.
weren't able to. But they weren't able to make it work.
Nope, could not. I don't know what Carolina's doing exactly. I mean 2 first-round draft choices in 24 and 25. Maybe they're thinking, nah, I'm not worried about then. I'm worried about a little bit more immediate. You guys got any 23s laying around?
No, they got nothing. laying
Right,
around.
that's the point.
But that's their issue.
Yeah.
Is that they have mortgaged the future. You know what I mean? Like, and this. It worked, though. They got a championship.
Right.
Like, you can only complain so much if you're the Lakers or the Rams fans.
No complaining.
You know?
No complaining at all. Like, seriously, if you're a Rams fan, I mean, I know.
I mean,
you'd love
especially
to-
if you're a Rams fan.
Right.
Like, if you're a Lakers fan, the expectation is you're going to do this, like, forever. And I understand that. But for the Rams, like, you just got here, like, 8 minutes ago.
Well, not only that, but you won a Super Bowl by going all in 1 year. And of the guys who were major contributors to that game, a lot of those guys, star of your offensive line, one of the stars of your defense, a second defensive player that helped lead you right to the Super Bowl championship, even though he didn't play for you all season long. Not to mention a wide receiver that was having an MVP caliber game, got hurt and hasn't been back and hasn't been heard from and hasn't been properly replaced, etc.
Right.
So you got your championship and you got it at home. You got to continue to celebrate that and then deal with reality, which is it's not likely going to happen back-to-back years.
Correct. And by the way, it doesn't happen in back-to-back years for very many teams.
In very many sports.
Right. So it just is what it is. Take it and roll with it. We're going to roll with the punches here, and Kirk Morrison is going to join us. We'll talk Rams. I want to talk everything with him. I want to talk trade deadline, Rams. I want to talk Raiders. I want to talk Chargers. I want to talk all this stuff with him because I feel like there's a lot to kind of nibble on today with the trade deadline today in the National Football League. So Kirk's going to join us. Obviously, he's a big part of the station, big part of our Rams coverage, and former NFL player, played for the Raiders. So we'll talk to him in a couple minutes.
Softball game.
He was. He had a big home run.
Two.
Right. It's right. Two. He should have saved you, but you choked it away. You choked the lead away. Basically,
That's true. That's true. Me and Kurt Sandoval did.
Yeah. More you than Kurt Sandoval, who tried to make a crazy catch in this.
Kurt Sandoval is still dealing with.
All right, we got to go. Laura says we got to go. All right, what you need to know in between.
ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Linz, what do you got?
All right, so as we all know, on Saturday, the MLS Cup final matching LAFC with the Philadelphia Union. So it's going to kick off before a sellout crowd of more than 22,500 people just after 1 p.m. at the Bank. Of course, the Bank is less than a football field away from the Coliseum, where 9th-ranked USC will kick off its homecoming game against Cal at 7:30. That game is expected to draw more than 55,000 people. So, where's everybody going to park? Well, if you're a soccer fan, the answer might be Dodger Stadium, because USC gets priority for parking at Exposition Park, so there will be no spaces in or around either stadium available for fans attending the MLS Cup final.
Wow.
LAFC is encouraging fans to park at a metro station and take the Expo line to the Expo Park USC station, which, of course, is a short walk from the Bank. And for other options, you can check out the Transit app or online trip planner. So, basically, if you're going to see LAFC, you got to figure out where you're going to park.
Yeah, you better, or you got to pay for parking at USC, basically. You could pay for the park there. Like you could just there's paid lots.
Yeah, there is paid.
They're not going to know if you're
right.
if you're going in there to tailgate or if you're going in there if you're going there to watch the match. I presume.
Right, but all the people that have like the parking passes for LAFC games will not be able to use them.
Those people are totally screwed. Yes.
Let me ask you a question. If you found out that the MLS Cup was going to be
I would
moved,
be a little annoyed because there's enough space between the game, personally.
Right, of course, because the soccer game is going to end at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and people are going to be gone by 5. I guess the concern is that USC fans will be coming into tailgate and that maybe the parking lot isn't completely cleared out, so I kind of understand. But let me just ask this question. Lindsay, how many people did you say 30-some-odd thousand will be in the Bank?
22,500.
Only 22,000.
That's how many it holds.
Well, that's how many people fit in there.
Yeah. If I said to you, they moved the game to the Coliseum, how many people do you think would show up for the MLS Cup? Could you get 75?
I would
80?
not want to watch the game in the Coliseum.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I want to watch it in my home stadium. That's the whole point.
No, I get it. I'm just wondering, like, do you
I don't think they would sell
be...
90,000 if that's
No?
what you're asking.
Hmm.
So it's going to look empty.
Because I'll tell you, man, it would be great if they had more capacity. But, man, that is going to be a wild, wild place on Saturday
And then how
afternoon.
would you suggest they park in that scenario?
Logistics,
I don't have a good answer. No, I got no answer.
Yeah, there you go.
Cappy's not good with logistics. Come on.
Yeah.
Although I do have a bunch of ideas for SoFi Stadium about how to make things move faster there. if
Okay,
anybody
we can
wants
get
my
to that
opinion.
a little later. Kirk is here on the line. That is what you need to know. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. The great Kirk Morrison, of course, you can catch him here on this station. You can catch him on ESPN's college football coverage with Beth Mowens. And every Saturday on television, and of course right here on our Rams coverage. And we'll be doing a game with me in a couple weeks on ESPN Radio, a Rams-Cardinals game. So, Kirk, thank you for stopping by. Do you have any idea on how to help Cappy with logistics? Because there's a big problem with this LAFC-USC situation this Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. I would just say arrive early, right? Because you got to be able to navigate not only the traffic, but trying to find a spot. So for me, why not find a spot a couple blocks away and then be able to walk over, right? Is that the easiest way?
Yeah, I'd like to be on foot as well, Kirk Morrison.
Yeah, there's got to be paid parking places, plenty of paid parking places around there that you can go to and then just walk.
You got to get on foot, be able to get there early, be on foot, and you'll be good to go. But can you double dip? Is it like you can go to both games at the same time, right? Or not same time, but later on, right?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
you
so
could.
the soccer match is going to start at 1 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah.
And the USC game is at like 7:30 p.m.
7:30, yeah.
So my issue, just as an example, would be, let's say the soccer game ends at 3-ish, right? You got a long time to kill between one and the other, and you're not
You
going
go tailgate.
Yeah, tailgate. Go find get you a little hotel. Make it a full just L.A. day. Make it a staycation. How about that?
Right, you just go Uber to the hotel.
Yeah, make it a staycation. That's easy.
Thinking about it. I'm thinking about it on Saturday night because that USC game is going to end late. And then am I going to schlep all the way home, or am I going to stay in downtown LA somewhere?
Staycation, man.
Oh, good idea. Thank you, Kirk Morrison.
All right, Kirk. So the Rams win all in, F them picks. It got them a championship. And now they don't have a ton of assets or enough assets to get the type of improvements that they need. So how should fans feel about that?
Wait, you say the Rams or the Lakers?
Rams.
Oh, no,
Rams.
because
Oh,
they're
wow. I see what you did there.
It's the same story.
Yeah. I mean, is it not the same, though?
It's
You
exactly
think about
the
what
same.
The Lakers did. Yeah, a couple of years ago, they went all in, and they won their championship. That was in the bubble, but they won their championship. And, again, with those F them picks mentality, they're in the situation they're in now, and you realize how hard it is to get out of it. I think the Rams are starting to see the same thing. They got the championship, and how difficult is it for them right now to go out and get more pieces to what they have already? And then I think the bigger point of it for me, everybody, is that how difficult it is to win championships back-to-back in no matter what profession, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, soccer. Man, it is tough to win back-to-back championships. The Rams are saying how difficult it is, but it won't take away what happened last February inside of SoFi. Like, you will understand, you will take what you're going through now to get that championship. Just know that this year is going to be much more difficult, and I'm not saying you punt on the season, but just realize how you got to attack this year knowing you don't have, the ability to go pick some things off the grocery list like you normally could.
Yeah, and listen, we talked about Christian McCaffrey a couple weeks ago, and I thought, nah, you don't really need him because you don't have an offensive line that can protect or can even open up holes, so why go get him? And after what I saw this past Sunday, I feel stupid because it would have been great if they could have gotten Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, it's I call it luxury versus necessity. Like the 49ers, I thought that was a luxury pick of Christian McCaffrey. Then he comes out on Sunday versus the Rams, and I was like, no, that's actually a necessity. They actually needed him because it gave not only Jimmy Garoppolo an extra weapon, but then I think more importantly, the Rams looked at, man, what could we have had in Christian McCaffrey? Because they definitely don't have a running back situation that you feel excited about, right? I mean, Cam Akers has to kind of humble himself and come back because he was not traded. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that nobody wanted to trade for your running back. So we'll find out whatever. But the Rams don't have that running back room how they want it. So it's a lot that they have to go through. And remember, they still got 10 games left. 10 games left. What's the magic number that gets them to the playoffs, right? Do they got to win 10? Do they got to win 9? That's the number I'm looking at right now, because in the NFC, you just got to get in. If you get in, trust me, I'll put the Rams up against anybody when it comes to the playoffs, a one-and-done scenario. They just got to get there. And how do they find that rhythm this next 10 games?
Yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. But the NFC, to your point, is not great, I would say. The NFC East is interesting. But after that, it's just like, Minnesota's good, we think. And then a bunch of teams all kind of jumbled up
teams that
together.
we thought were going to be good, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, just as examples, at least guys with superstar quarterbacks, they're terrible. That's why the Rams playing Tampa Bay coming up this week, they got to win that game if they're going to be for real about getting back into this thing. And I suppose, Kirk, Tampa Bay's probably thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think, well, not necessarily. Tampa Bay still can be in position. Right now, their division is being led by the Atlanta Falcons at 4-4. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that this is a must-win for Tom Brady and his crew, but, they still got an opportunity where they can go out and, I think, win some games down the stretch. But this is more important, I think, for the Rams for sure, because San Francisco has already proven what they can be down the stretch. Seattle, you still got 2 games against them, and Geno Smith right now, if the season ended, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback, he and Jalen Hurts right now. So, to me, I just don't know where, golly, like, who needs this game more, right? The Rams or the Buccaneers? This, I think, safe to say that both teams need it. But I think on the opposite side, the Rams, if they don't win it, they put them behind the 8 ball. I look at Tampa Bay and say they still have a chance to win their division just because their division is not very good. I mean, outside Atlanta, Carolina, I mean, they punted on the season already, I feel like. And then New Orleans could make a comeback, but they're still – do you believe in Andy Dalton? No. So I give Tampa a much more of a chance without winning this football game, more so if the Rams do not win.
All right, so your old squad and Kirk Morrison hanging out with us here, the Raiders. The owner gave the coach the dreaded vote of confidence. Now, I actually think this is the right move. I know Raider fans may be conflicted by this, but you can't keep changing coaches every year. Cappy and I have talked about this a ton. And, to me, I think the one thing you got to look at, and we feel this way, and Cappy and I aren't always united on everything, but you're going to have to look at that quarterback situation despite giving him an extension this past offseason. Where are you on that?
Yeah, I mean, they made some questionable moves this offseason when you look at where this team's sitting at right here. To get blown out the way that they did on the road and get shut out, that's a difficult one, tough pill to swallow. But I think more importantly, what I was looking at, like on a bigger grand scheme of things, I've never seen a trade where both sides lose. And I'm saying the trade for Davante Adams, it seems so far to start, the Raiders have lost because they're not getting the same production from Davante that you got out of Green Bay. And so it looks like a loss. And then I look on the opposite side, Green Bay, who made the trade, who gave up, Davante Adams for picks, and yet their wide receivers – they're still shopping for wide receivers, right?
They stink.
So
they stink.
Yeah.
Well,
so
this is actually a great
lost
observation.
this trade.
It's a great observation, Kirk, because I think most of us look at Aaron Rodgers and we're like, he can turn any bum into a superstar wide receiver. And then we look at a guy like Davante Adams and we go, well, he's going to make Derek Carr look so much better than he's ever looked. And the reality is that it was really more the teaming of Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams and whatever chemistry they had and talents that they had. That's why it worked for them. But when they've separated, it hasn't worked for either other team.
Right, but I think with Aaron's case, like, he literally has nobody to throw the ball to. Like, the only guy he actually has any chemistry with is hurt in Randall Cobb. Like, he's got a bunch of, like, young kids out there. Even Alan Lazard is hurt, too, now. So it's like, he's got nobody he trusts.
We all thought that Aaron Rodgers could turn water into wine, and right now he's turning bread into rock.
Right, but
right
you thought that at 37 or 38? Like, there's no way. I didn't think that.
I did.
Well, I mean, we saw Tom Brady have one of the most productive years of his career last year at 44. So
right, but he's got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, for God's sake.
Yeah, but you've also had a Lazard. You bring in Randall Cobb, and I think also Sammy Watkins has an ability. Hey, bring back Robert Tonyan, the tight end. I just thought I would see more A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. So that I agree with. Yeah, that to me is where they've lost off. But
I actually thought Aaron Rodgers would make no-name wide receivers into really good players, and it just hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked out, and I think for the Raiders, to me, it's just a lot of expectation. I said it before. This team went to the playoffs last year. Can they return? And so right now, Josh McDaniels, he's showing me again. Next time around, it's not working right now. Now I think you need the owner to say, you know what, we are going to give him more than just this year. It's going to take more time. I just don't know you're going to tell me that it's a rebuild. I mean, you're 7 games in and you're already telling me you're looking toward next year. Like, come on, man, this is a bad year. Like that.
That's what happens when you get beat 24-0, man. You get beat 24-0, reality hits you right in the face, you know? We suck.
Yeah, we don't cross the 50-yard line into the fourth quarter yet. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, we suck.
So, Kirk, I'm curious because I just want to see Cappy's reaction to this.
Sure.
What do you make of the Chargers moving forward?
Wait. That assumes that you know what Kirk is about to say.
I don't know what he's about to say. That's why I'm curious, though.
No, because I had an interesting conversation with one of my buddies today. If we redid the 2020 NFL draft right now, who would you draft, or how would that order go? There were 5 quarterbacks taken in the first 2 rounds, right? Mm-hmm. Remember with Joe Burrow, then Justin Herbert,
right?
Then Jordan Love. We can throw Jordan Love out of the mix because he hasn't played.
Yeah, he's out.
But then in the second round, Jalen Hurts was selected by the Eagles. Mm-hmm. If you had to reshape that around, or if you want to rank those guys right now, how would you rank them? Where would you put Justin Herbert? Because remember, people had put Herbert before the season ascending to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And I'm saying this dude ain't won a playoff game. Like, how
hasn't
can
been
you
to the
do
playoffs.
This?
Forget about hasn't won one. Hasn't been to the playoffs.
Jalen Hurts has been to the playoffs. So I think for me, I'm not into buying into the hype of Justin Herbert. I know people have been trying to shove it down to me, like, just look at him. I was like, I'm looking at him. I don't see him in January. I mean, I see him. He's a great player in, December and I mean, maybe earlier in the season. But I'm looking at Jalen Hurts and what he's shown right now. I'm looking at Tua Tagovailoa, who needs to be in the MVP conversation. Not saying he's going to win it, but he's in the conversation. All right, Joe Burrow has taken a team to the Super Bowl. So for me, you ask me where are the Chargers at right now. They can only go as far as their quarterback can take them. Don't tell me about the injuries, because everybody's got injuries in the NFL. The Rams got injuries, right? Everybody's got injuries. But when you're supposed to be an elite quarterback, it doesn't matter. And right now, I'm seeing that the Chargers can only go as far as their quarterback take them. I will put the onus on him. I will put the pressure on Justin Herbert. And if he doesn't outperform what he's got, then the Chargers will be right where they are, a middle-of-the-line team, hoping to get to the playoffs. And if they did get to the playoffs, do you honestly believe they can make some noise, especially the way their head coach goes about calling, situational football? I'm just scratch my head. Still can't believe it.
Very good. This is a great answer.
No, I know. You make it Cappy smile.
Dude.
I think if Herbert's healthy, the problem is they're never healthy. Like, as a team, they're never healthy.
Ever. Anybody.
Yeah, I mean, ever. Like, literally, they're never healthy.
Yeah,
so
I think the NFL is never healthy, though, right?
No, but they're, like, injured. Like, forget about, you could be hurt, but not injured. Like, injured is, like, you're incapable of playing. And they have a lot of guys that are incapable of playing at the moment. So
best offensive lineman, best pass rusher, best defensive back. They lose them all day long.
Right. It's just they are cursed.
Was it really their best defensive back, or did they overpay for somebody because he played for Belichick?
That's right. You got it.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, but
hey,
I mean,
Kurt,
listen.
this is a great answer, by the way. You have made my day.
Yeah.
Because George Sedano knows that I am the president of the Charger Hater Club. I am the card-carrying founder of the Charger Hater Club. And as such, I want to see them fail. Now, ideally, it's a close game and they lose on the last play, and I think that's even more fun when you rip the heart right out of the fan base. I know it's only a 2 or 3 person fan base. That all being said,
wow,
all of your analysis really makes me very happy. You're right. They're just not very good.
I just want to see them make the playoffs before you tell me, right? All they've done is told me this, told me that. Get first. Then we can have a conversation. And that falls on the quarterback, right? It falls on Justin Herbert. He can go into 3 years right now. You can tell me he's one of the best in the league. But, yeah, I think we really rate our quarterbacks for what they do in the playoffs. And look at the guys. Look, Tua is going to make the playoffs this year, I think. And now how do we look at that quarterback class of 2020 then? Because Jordan Love hasn't played, and then obviously Justin Herbert still will not have made a playoff at the end of the year if the Chargers don't make it.
Kirk, are you ready to call a game with me? Are you ready to hold my hand a little bit, doing these games or what? You're the veteran.
Teach this guy,
Are you
Kirk.
ready for me is the question, man. Are you ready for me?
Oh, listen, I'm always ready. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready, you know?
I can't wait, man. That's a great opportunity, man. I can't wait to call a game with you. It'll be fun. I know we have the whole ESPN family behind us, ESPNLA family behind us, so we got a fun one in the booth.
It will be fun on ESPN Radio on November 13th, Rams Cardinals. Kirk, thanks for always making time for our nonsense, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. Hey, Cappy, go find you. Go to Hotels Tonight or something, man. Go find you a Hotels Tonight. All right,
You know what?
Saturday night. Hotels Tonight.
George and I were walking the streets yesterday. We were both wearing the exact same shoes. We looked absolutely adorable. And I stopped in at the Hotel Figueroa. That's where I'm going, man. That place looks fire.
There you go. Embrace it. There you go. Maybe you never know, man. Wake up in the morning, go find you a little brunch spot downtown L.A. Make it a weekend.
I like
there you
this
go,
idea.
Cappy.
I do. I like this idea. Kirk Morrison, good man.
All right, Kirk.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Take care. There he is, Kirk Morrison. All right, a lot to kind of digest there. Also, I do want to actually, there is like actual stuff that's happened today beyond the football stuff, which we probably should talk about, like this whole Nets thing imploding in a way that.
I'm surprised you didn't want to talk about that from the get-go.
Nah, I don't think it's that big a story. Like,
Oh
I mean,
my
it
God,
is,
I love
but
it.
not here. You know what I mean? Like, but I do think that there are some interesting kind of dynamics at play here that can affect the Lakers. If you want my honest opinion, and we can talk about it. We'll do it next.
A luxury.
We chilled, but I've never seen Sedano drink Gatorade ever. So there you go. All of that at the YouTube channel. Meanwhile, he's 60 years old today, the founding member and lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Anthony Kiedis. Sedano and Kap, your Tuesday afternoon continues now.
Love this song.
You do?
Do.
Great song.
East Side Love is living on the West End.
I'm a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're fantastic.
They are top five.
To watch them live, I feel
Yeah.
like is also one of
Oh
those
my God.
experiences that you should commit to at some point.
George, I've seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers in a club with about 300 people, and I'm talking like 2 or 3 years ago. Probably right before the pandemic. This is when Flea, hey Flea, if you're listening, shout out to you, number one. And number two, this was the show at the Belly Up in Solana Beach, which, George, is one of the most legendary rock and roll clubs in all of Southern California. And Flea had just returned from an injury. I think he had a broken wrist. So this was Flea's first show back, and then
Right.
it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers' first show in like a really long time because Flea had been out and injured. He was on the disabled list, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers play in a tiny little club, it's an unbelievable experience. I'll put some videos up on the Circle of Trust from that night.
Okay, feel free.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy
but,
birthday,
you know,
Anthony.
Happy birthday, Anthony. Do you want to say anything else to Flea? Or,
You know what? I'd
he
like to
might
just
be
say,
listening?
I would like to say one other thing, as a matter of fact. Thank you, George, for the moment. I also want to say this. You know I love tribute bands, right?
Yeah.
The Red Knot Chili Peppers
Yeah.
tear it to shreds.
Okay, cool.
That's right. They're the Red Knots versus
Right.
the Red Hots.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of not, I told you earlier, you asked me earlier about the anonymous states for lotteries because you have your
Correct.
kids spread all over the country.
West Virginia, Idaho, and Louisiana, yes?
Yeah. None of those states actually are in the anonymous category.
Oh, damn it.
The closest to Idaho would be North Dakota, which is not close.
Mm-hmm.
The closest to West Virginia would be Virginia, depending on what part of West Virginia
You're
he's
not
at.
far from Ohio, by the way.
You're also not far from Ohio. That's true. Excellent
Right.
point.
Ohio,
'Cause
much
it's-
closer.
Yeah, Ohio closer to Virginia. So there you go. So he can get to if he can cross the border.
No,
then
it's
you can
very
be
quick.
anonymous.
No, it's very, very quick and easy to get from where he is in West Virginia right over the Ohio border.
There you go. So there you go. And then you could be. Then you could definitely be anonymous.
But George, the only problem is that if any of my
you don't
kids-
want to be anonymous. You want
Well-
everybody to know you won $1 billion.
Well, but wait a second. Think about what we're talking about here. If one of my 3 kids bought lottery tickets and won and was
would they
able to
give it to
remain
you?
well, let's say they were able to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
Then they don't tell me.
Oh, yeah.
Then I never know.
Right. That'd actually be fantastic.
How ridiculous would that be?
Oh, it would be so good. It would be. I'd be really happy for them.
Yeah. Hey, my daughter just won $290 million in the lottery. I had no idea. How'd she keep it from you?
You would end up being one of those, like, what's the name of that show? Inside Edition?
Right.
You know, where it's like, da-na-na, na-na-na, and it's like, I had no idea that my daughter won the lottery. Da-na-na, na-na-na.
I know I'd wind up making like the talk show rounds, you know, like Dr. Phil. Is he still a thing? Is Dr. Phil still a guy?
I believe he's still around, yeah.
Really? He'd have me and my daughter on, you know, he'd be like, how could you not tell your dad you won $290 million? Wasn't it he who suggested you go buy the lottery ticket?
And she'd be like, because my dad won't stop tracking me. It's
Right,
invasion
and by-
of my privacy. I'm
Right,
sick
and by
of
the way,
it.
and she continues to have me pay for her cell phone and her car and her rent. I'm like, you had $290 million after winning the Powerball, and you didn't tell me, and you still had me pay for everything?
Yeah, Dad, those are mine. That's what she would say. She would
Yep.
share.
Hey, by the way, as Lindsay Baseball and as Laura the Queen come onto the camera on our YouTube channel, I want to make a suggestion going forward. When we have somebody on like a Kirk Morrison, we also ought to have him on video as well.
Cap, you're asking for a little bit too much here. I mean, we just literally got this figured out.
You always want, like we just, right, to Lindsay's point, we just figured something out, and now you want, like, why don't we just have everybody just join us at the same time? I mean, let's just have Mason and Ireland join us from home too, and Bergman and and Sliwa and Travis too. Like, let's just do that.
No, they have their own deal. You know, like I'm saying, like when we have a guest on,
No,
we
I know,
send
but
that
I'm
guest
just
the
saying,
link,
like,
and then that
it's
person
a lot
just
to
clicks
ask
on.
somebody to like be a guest on camera. I feel like.
I don't agree.
Okay, well I do.
Why don't you agree?
Because I do it every day on the Cappy Cast.
Okay, but it's your show.
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying is that if I were to call Kirk Morrison and say, hey, I want you to come on the Cappy Cast, he'd say, okay. I say, hey, I'm going to email you a link. Sit in front of your computer. We'll do a beautiful thing. He
But
does
did it sound like he was at home when he just called us right now?
Kind of, yeah.
No, it didn't, actually.
Where did it sound like he was?
It sounded like he was in, like, a hallway of some sorts, like somewhere not in his home.
Oh, really? I didn't get that.
Yeah, it didn't sound, like, super, like, clear.
Oh, I thought it sounded beautiful.
At the end of the day, Cap,
Yep.
down the road maybe we can discuss that. But I feel like we just need. I mean,
Crawl before you walk.
You know
man.
what?
Yeah.
You know what, Linz? I'll bet you the guys that are actually producing it don't think the same way you think.
listen.
I'll bet you they think,
Do you,
yeah, we
do
can
you
do that,
realize
no problem.
though that like I used to produce streaming shows? Like that was my job before I started working here for like
Yeah, I
years.
understand. I
And I
understand.
just think that it is often quite a bit to ask a guest to get in front of the computer and do it that way. Also, like I said, we literally just started having you guys on
So,
camera
Cappy,
from home
are
today.
Are you texting the guys right now who produced this?
No, I'm texting Kirk to find out where he was.
Oh, okay.
As far as the guys who are producing it, I know they'll side with me on this one.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yes,
I mean, let's be serious. Like, we get FaceTimes from Carlo's mom in the middle of doing these, so
right.
I
There's
think
also
you're probably
that.
wrong.
Yeah.
we get FaceTimes from Carlo's mom on the iPad,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden we go off.
2 weeks in a row, it knocked us out.
Not
Really?
exactly like the most high-tech operation at the moment.
You don't think so?
We're
I
working
think it's
on
pretty
it.
high tech.
Okay, well, whatever. I
Works
mean,
for
that's no
me.
knock to anybody. It's just that, it started as an experimental thing. Now we're just trying to, just get like a base of viewers here. So just chill. We'll figure it out down the road.
I think you just, you shoot first and you ask for forgiveness later. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, you just go for it.
We
Yeah,
never
that's worked
even
out.
have guests anyway.
That's true. We don't really actually have a lot of guests.
Well, that's why it's not that big of a deal, because it only happens once every so often. And Kirk Morrison, I mean, he's familiar. He, George, is the kind of guy that when you see Kirk Morrison, you tell him, bring it in. And
I
know
mean,
what
I
he
already
does?
do that. I know.
Right,
I worked
right.
with him for a long time.
Right, he brings it in. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. When
Oh.
you have a bring it in kind of bro relationship,
Mm-hmm.
ain't no big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. By the way, we just completely blew through the segment that we were going to talk about this NBA thing, crazy thing with the Nets, and how it honestly can impact the Lakers.
Good,
But I guess we'll
gives
have
us
to
more
wait till
time.
5:45 to do that because
Yeah,
we have
give
Radio
us
Tinder coming up next.
one
All
more
because
time.
you wanted to talk about the YouTube experience.
It's really good.
God, sometimes I want to kick you in the teeth.
Don't kick me in my teeth. I just had my teeth cleaned this afternoon at the dentist, which is why I'm feeling so fresh this afternoon. Seriously.
Did they now when you went to the dentist real
Yeah.
quick, and this is like a quick answer, okay?
Yeah.
Was there any pain involved?
A lot, actually.
Yeah, that's what I
But I
figured.
asked for it.
Also kind of figured that, to be honest with you. I'm not surprised by that by any stretch of the
I asked my hygienist, make it hurt, make them bleed.
Is
You know,
Rachel
so-
your hygienist too?
No. She makes it hurt in a different way.
All right, Radio Tinder's next.
Yo, football fans, you want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with me and Sedano each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app, use code SK22 to join our show league, and start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app, use code SK22 to join the Sedano and Kap Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
Radio Tinder time. We usually play a TV theme, but how about this? We lost it back in 2017, but today's his birthday. Bobby Heenan, Bobby the Brain from WWF fame, and this is his theme song, which has got a lot of pop. This could be like a theme song just for Radio Tinder in general.
I like it.
You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Instagram or Twitter. Don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher. By the way, I would be honored if we used Bobby Heenan's theme.
Oh my God,
Love
the
Bobby
weasel.
the Brain.
Yeah.
My uncle saw him recently before he passed away, like a couple months before he passed away, at one of the wrestling shows when WrestleMania was down in Florida.
Yeah.
And he couldn't talk or anything, but he signed his autograph and his book and all that stuff, and he was just like, oh, he's such a great one. He's one of the greats, one of the best ever.
Oh, he was arguably the best manager of all time.
I think he was.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
weasel.
I don't know. That's definitely up for debate.
Well, who would you say is the other one? I mean, there's...
Well, for me, my all-time favorite is Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people that might tell you Captain Lou Albano, although he became kind of, mainstream with the whole Cyndi Lauper video. Yes, there's the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
That's who I would say would be up there with him.
Yeah,
and Paul
Jimmy
Heyman.
Hart is definitely in the conversation.
And Paul Heyman is in there, too. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So Pro Wrestling .com, I believe, did a 10 greatest managers, and Bobby the Brain Heenan was number one.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think
right?
he's number one.
Is that right? Interesting.
Yeah.
Who's number two?
Yep. And Bleacher Report also did one in Bobby the Brain. Jim Cornette was
Oh,
number two.
Jim Cornette.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
he's
good.
yeah. I would go with that as number
Okay.
two.
Give us
Yeah,
a list.
Captain-
Since we're at it, do you guys mind? Give us a list.
Captain Lou, Jimmy Hart, Paul Heyman, who we had on the show once, Classy Freddie Blassie.
I love
remember.
Classy
that's a
Freddie
good one.
Blassie. Love the
Yeah.
King.
Paul Bearer,
Love Paul Bearer.
Oh gosh, I love Paul Bear. When you
J.J. Dillon, who was
Okay,
kind
that's
of
old
like
school.
a meaner Bobby the Brain Heenan, but just not as he didn't have as much personality, like in a fun way.
Okay.
The sensational Sherry was Shawn Michaels' valet at the time. And Miss Elizabeth at number
Miss
10.
Elizabeth,
with
I would
Macho
have
Man. Miss Elizabeth higher than number 10.
Yeah, I can't believe Sir Oliver Humperdinck is not on that list.
on
That
the
just
list.
goes to show you that people were not watching the legends of the game as they were developing it. I'll tell you that right now.
Cappy, do you got a good Paul Bearer impression?
Not really, but it kind of reminds me of your cat getting down and dirty sound.
I mean, Paul Bearer is a pretty good one to imitate. You can't
Yeah.
even give it a shot.
The Undertaker!
Oh, I loved him.
The 5 worst managers of all time in pro wrestling are also on this list. Paul Jones. I don't remember Paul Jones.
I don't know who he is. Yeah.
Okay.
The genius Lanny Poffo. And I remember Leaping Lanny Poffo becoming the genius Lanny Poffo, but as a wrestler. I didn't realize he was a manager. Mr. Fuji can't be on this
Oh,
list.
come on.
That's terrible. Mr.
That's
Fuji was and Mr. Fuji was also a good wrestler
Yeah.
too
That's
back in the
unfortunate.
day.
Bad job.
Oh, they have Lou Albano on this list,
Oh, there
and
you
then
go, Cap.
the Golden Greek John Tolos. I'm not familiar.
Don't
with
know
him.
who he is.
That's why he's on the worst list.
Don't know the Golden Greek.
Yeah, it's pretty fair, I guess.
Know the Greek Freak. I don't know the Golden Greek.
Yeah.
But you know Paul Bearer, and you go, ooh.
So let me see. WWE actually did a list. Let me see where numbers. Just scroll down to number 1. It's probably easier. Mr. Fuji was on that list. He was number 12 actually, and Jim Cornette only number 11 on that list.
Jim Cornette has a great podcast.
He does have a podcast. I've never heard it, but
It's pretty good.
very popular apparently.
Pretty
I
good.
love
Yeah.
listening to old school wrestling podcasts.
Let me see. Bobby the Brain Heenan, number 1.
Yeah, I think it's pretty undisputed, if you ask me.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, go ahead, Lindsay.
This
Do the Radio
wrestling
Tinder
talk
part.
brought to you by Paul Bearer. Woo! As Cappy
Oh,
would
Lindsay! Time for you to do Radio Tinder.
say. Okay, I need to catch my breath here. All right, so earlier today, ESPN announced that Herm Edwards is returning to the network as both
Good.
an NFL and college football analyst.
I love it. I'm
Love
very
him,
excited.
love him. The former
Yeah.
coach, of course, was fired from Arizona State in September in a really weird,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it, fashion. Really weird, awkward. Edwards, of course, worked for ESPN as an analyst from 2009 to 2017 before he took the Sun Devils job. The network said they'd keep a seat open for him when he returned to coaching, and they're happy to welcome him back. Before his first stint at ESPN, he coached the Chiefs and Jets after working several NFL assistant roles. Do you guys think that Herm Edwards is totally done coaching for good? Swipe left or swipe right, Sedano?
100,000,000%. I was stunned he took the college job because he and I would always talk about that, and he was like, man, I don't know if I want to do a college job. And because I asked him back then about like his alma mater, Cal, and he was like, nah.
Alma mater, Cal. Wait a second. Herm Edwards, Cal?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm sorry,
man.
not alma mater. His hometown. That's where it
Okay.
is. He's from Sanford. He's from the Bay Area. My bad.
Got it.
But yeah, he said, nah. I said, dude, it's in your backyard. You wouldn't even have to move. He's like, nah. So I was stunned when he took the Arizona State job, although that's a better job than Cal. But still, you had to move for that, you know?
I think Herm Edwards is totally done coaching, and it's not because
for
Herm
sure.
Edwards might not at one point want to go back. I mean, he could probably go back into the NFL, not as a head coach, but maybe as somebody who's on somebody's staff. But Herm Edwards will never be able to coach in college football again because he did leave unceremoniously, and it's not just the way they fired him, which I thought was really unprofessional, but it was the scandal around the program.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you know, all the kids that were constantly leaving the program through the transfer portal. It just didn't work for Herm. That's all. I mean, going back to college and acting like, you know, the rules of the NCAA don't exist because I'm an NFL guy and I brought an NFL squad with me. It just didn't work out for him, unfortunately. And I love Herm Edwards.
I just remember when we had him on, I think it was on Mason and Ireland. I don't even think it was with you guys. And he was talking about how much he loved coaching and how much he loved being able to, like, be a part of the formidable years of the kids' lives.
He definitely loves the teaching. I don't think there's any question. He was always a good teacher. By the way, do you know the last team Herm Edwards played for?
No.
I would guess, if I had to just guess, was it the Philadelphia Eagles?
No, that was the first team he played for.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he played for anybody else.
Yeah, well, he played for the Falcons after that, but then his last team was the Rams.
Interesting.
In
As
St.
a
Louis?
DB.
No, it's got to be in LA.
No, L.A. It was
Yeah.
L.A. It was the 80s.
It's got to be in,
Yeah.
oh, the 80s? Yeah,
I
was gonna say
forget
late
how old
70s.
he is. He looks so great for his age. Like, he's 68. He looks like he's in his 50s. He looks great.
He's always been in great shape.
Don't press
He's-
send.
Yeah. He was right. Don't press
send.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
All right, so speaking of ESPN, yesterday, Around the Horn crew dressed up for Halloween. As we know, Sedano was dressed as Scott Hansen, and Tony Reale dressed as Jerry Seinfeld going to a Mets game with a cheesy jacket and Kith jeans and sneakers. Well, today he posted on Twitter, quote, "Where do you guys come down on refunds? Here's the situation. Kith doesn't do refunds or exchanges. Wahaha. So if anybody wants this hideous fit, give me a note and I'll tell you where the dumpster is." And then he tagged Kith and their customer service in the tweet. Kith is like a high-end fashion brand, so the jeans alone were probably like $200, and he probably paid somewhere around like $250 for the sneakers. Do you guys have an issue with Tony Reale wanting to return his Kith clothes that he wore for a Halloween costume? Swipe left or swipe right, Cappy?
He wants to return the outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But why?
I don't know. He said he wanted to return it because he just bought it as a Halloween costume. He wore it on set on TV, but now he said that he posted about it. He wants to return it, but they won't let him return it.
Yeah, I don't think he should return it. You know what he should do is do what the rest of us do. You take your Halloween costume, you take it off, you fold it up, you put it in a bin, you put it in your garage, and then next year, when people need Halloween costumes, they come in and they go, "Take what you need. This is my Jerry Seinfeld costume right here. I wore it last year on Around the Horn."
Okay.
See, I don't think you should return it.
Sedano?
I don't know if he was being serious about the refund, but
Well, he tagged their customer service in it, so that's why I thought it was real.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know to be the case. Like, I don't know if it is. Maybe he is being real. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. If you take if you keep the tags on, you should be able to return it. That's my theory.
Most Halloween costumes, though, like when you buy them from like the Halloween stores or whatever, like you can't return most Halloween costumes. That's like a no return policy situation.
Keep the tags on.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in, keeping the tags on.
It would have been funnier if you would have seen the tags on Reale on the show.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that I was like, Tony Reale, what's he got to return stuff for? Like, you know, that's all. That was funny.
Hey, he just had a new baby, man. You know, the formula's expensive.
Oh, good point. Good point. If he has kids, then yeah, you're right. All right, so last one here. If you have small children, you're going to want to turn down the radio for a minute here. My nephew, he's 11, and my sister informed me today that he's starting to question whether you know who is real. Second chance to turn down the radio for kids. I mean, come on, Kev. You know who we're talking about here. Christmas is coming up.
Oh, I mean, it could be the
Saint Nick. Let's just call him Saint Nick.
Okay.
Saint Nick. Okay, so I told her the fact that in this day and age, the fact that he made it to 11 is pretty good, and she wants to know if she should just come clean and tell him the truth. Would you swipe left or swipe right, Sedano?
If the kids asked me?
Yep. He asked us, is Santa Claus really real?
I don't really understand the question.
When did you tell your children that perhaps the gentleman in the red suit wasn't an actual person.
Oh, Cap's gonna do that thing now where he's like, "What? What? He's not?"
Well, he is a real person. I mean,
Sedano, I can hear you sighing like quietly.
I mean, he is. He's a real character.
Yes. Okay.
So I'll just ask you, George and
The
Laura.
answer would be if they asked, I would be honest. Yes.
Okay,
I have that. I have a very honest relationship with my kids, especially the 8-year-old right now, who asks a lot of questions.
And he's an only child, so I said, well, maybe if you had younger kids too, I think maybe you try and keep the charade up. But I feel like maybe at this point you just tell them.
No, but what you do is you kind of keep the older one gets in plays
plays
into
along.
that.
Yeah, but he's an only child, so
Right.
Well, let me ask you guys. We started this whole segment talking about wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. If your kid comes up to you and says, "Dad, is wrestling fake or is wrestling real?"
I would say it's scripted, which means what you see there is, yes, when they're being thrown out of the ring, like that's actually happening.
Right.
But the actual wrestling and the physical
is choreographed.
Right.
Yeah.
But it
is it real?
is hard work.
It's real, isn't it?
The wrestling is real, but the storylines are not.
What do you mean they're not real?
The physicality of it is real. Most of it, not all of it, but the physicality of it is mostly real. But it's choreographed.
And the storylines are, for the most part, manufactured. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
The outcomes.
No, they are, yeah.
The outcomes are manufactured.
All I'm saying is that the day that my uncle said to me, "Wrestling is fake," I went, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, that's not real." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You mean all the blood that's dripping down Dusty Rhodes' face is not real?" He's like, "No, it's like blood capsules." I'm like, "I refuse to believe that." So when somebody says to me that wrestling is fake, I'm like, "No, it's not. It's real. That's really happening out there. Those are real human beings flying through the air." As for Santa Claus, you turn on the TV at Christmas time, there he is. White beard, red suit, leading the reindeer. That's a real guy. To tell these kids, we have to blow it for these kids.
Well, Laura, if this were in this situation, what would you do if the kids asked?
My goddaughter has asked, and I was like, "Go ask mommy." And mommy's like, "Do you believe in Santa Claus?" She goes, "Yes." Then Santa Claus is real. She's also 7.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good way.
Good answer.
Yeah,
good parenting.
that's a good way to do it.
Good parenting right there.
Yeah,
I'm not by the time they get to 11, I feel like it's one of those things where it's kids at school.
Well,
already
you're like a
know.
tween at that stage.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
it's
I mean?
like you could get made fun of for still believing in Santa. It's not the cool thing to do anymore. You know how kids are.
Well, mind your business, kids. Mind your business.
Yeah, kids are not that.
They're mean.
Radio Tinder is presented by Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala, and hopefully Santa Claus will bring you something in your stocking. Well, it's actually it's too big for a stocking, but maybe it'll bring it to you as a gift anyway. Award-winning small batch premium sipping tequila made from the finest mature agaves, available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. Visit their website, tequilamandala.com, and you can see their Dia de los Muertos special edition tequila, which is beautiful. The bottles are normally beautiful, but when you see this Dia de los Muertos version of it, man, it is insane. Up your game and demand the extraordinary with Tequila Mandala.
birthday, Fernando Valenzuela.
Fernando ready in the strike two pitch is hit back to the box, dribbling to second. Samuel on the bag, throws to first, double play. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening of June the 29th, 1990. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Yes, indeed. Happy birthday, Fernando. Sedano and Kap continues right now.
Fernando, Fernando, grita la gente. Fernando, Fernando, con emoción.
Fernando, Fernando.
Lanza la bola, Fernando.
Fernando, Fernando.
Y a los ponchos.
Yeah.
Fernando,
So yours, my friends.
I don't know why Fernando Valenzuela doesn't have some sort of larger recognition at Dodger Stadium, personally.
Preach. Facts.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, great. I mean, I don't know why they don't do it. I mean, it should have been done a long time ago. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for all the obvious reasons. Not only was he a great pitcher for the team, but I mean, what he meant culturally to the city of Los Angeles, what he still means to the city of Los Angeles, and it makes no sense at all. I mean, listen, you walk around in front of Crypto and you see all the statues of all the different people, you know, whether it's Shaquille O'Neal or Chick Hearn or whatever. I mean, you just walk around and you see all those statues, Oscar De La Hoya. You're like, yo, it makes all the sense in the world. I don't know why the Dodgers haven't just done it. I mean, can you imagine the resistance? Could you imagine somebody inside the office going, hey, you know, we should probably do something for Fernando out in front of the stadium, like some kind of a statue or something, and somebody else goes, nah, bad idea. Don't like that. I mean, I don't know why they just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't get it either, to be honest with you. Like, it's so easy to just get done. Like, just do it, dude.
Well, happy birthday, Fernando.
Fernando, Fernando.
It used to be, that was my favorite Billy Crystal character on SNL.
Fernando.
Fernando's Hideaway. So here's my friend. How are you, darling? Hello. You know, I used to love that one. Hulk Hogan came in. He was, hello, Julk. You know, it was great. Love Billy Crystal. I'm going to go to a Clippers game this year just to find Billy Crystal. He's somebody on my list that I've never met before that I need to meet. I need to hug it out with him.
And you're just going to go up to him and be like, hey, Billy Crystal, let's be friends. Let's hug it out. Bring it in.
I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, but I'm going to see him. We're going to spend a few minutes looking eye to eye, chatting it out. I'm going to tell him a few things. He's going to hear me out, and I think by the time I'm done, we'll be best friends. And that's the way I plan on
I don't
going.
think that's going to happen, but good luck, Cap.
Thanks. All right, George, you were going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets, who I'm watching right now play against the Chicago Bulls. This is all your fault, by the way. Rather than me watching the World Series game right now, I'm watching NBA basketball in the first 10 games of the season. I blame you.
Well, I mean, I get it, but I mean, it's probably what you should be watching.
I mean, really? Versus the World Series, a regular season NBA game, Game 7?
Yeah, why not?
Well, the only reason I'm watching is because it's Brooklyn, because now I'm more interested in them than ever before, because I can't stand these guys. I honestly, I despise players who I think are uncoachable players, and I look at those guys and I think they're uncoachable. Whereas, I look at a guy like Russell Westbrook and I go, you know what? I'm not sure yet, but I think at least they've got the right personality at coach to maybe show us that he can be a coachable player. Mm-hmm. But Kyrie Irving, forget about it. You can't coach that guy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot of people that feel that way, but there's some thought that maybe he'll become available again.
Oh, please, do not tell me you're suggesting bringing Kyrie Irving to the Lakers again. I
am.
Oh, George, come on.
Especially if it brings Joe Harris with the lack of shooting that they have.
Come on, George, really?
Yeah, if Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris are on this team is actually a team that is respectable.
Yeah, let me ask you this. At what point do you say, you know what, winning basketball?
I understand that, but I'm just talking to you purely from a basketball perspective.
But you can't do that for this reason. He's not just a basketball guy. He's a guy who's very happy sharing a lot of very strong and, in many instances, offensive opinions.
No, forget about just offensive. Reckless, I would add.
But George, in a city like Los Angeles, to have Kyrie Irving on your team, the Lakers, given the, we just were talking about Fernando Valenzuela, what he meant to the Hispanic community. The Lakers are supported, and there are plenty of fans that are Jewish that would be completely offended if the Lakers went out and got Kyrie Irving.
I totally understand that.
So it's hard to separate the basketball player from the opinionist.
I get that. But have you ever gone to see Floyd Mayweather have a fight?
Perhaps years ago.
Yeah. I mean, Floyd Mayweather has done some pretty, allegedly done some stuff that's not so nice, right?
Well, there's lots of guys like that. But Kyrie Irving is a player who has proven that he's like a franchise killer.
By the way, I wouldn't do it, but I would, if you're asking me if teams wouldn't kick the tires on it, I think they'd at least do their due diligence on it.
I really, I cannot stand this guy as a player. He's just not someone that a coach can reach. He feels like he doesn't need to be coached or have plays drawn up per se, or listen to somebody who's got an extra set of eyes, who's a real professional. It just irritates me so badly. The whole thing. Like, if I were Steve Nash today, you don't understand. I'd be celebrating somewhere, George. I'd be having drinks somewhere with my wife and my family or whatever, my friends, going, thank God they fired me. I don't know how much longer was left on Steve Nash's contract, and I don't know how much money he made a year, but whatever he walked out the door with, it's like celebration money. Getting him or being fired was a gift that the Brooklyn Nets just gave to Steve Nash, because he couldn't coach those guys. Could he? I mean, you've been around.
Well, no,
he
he said to the management, I can't reach them anymore.
Anymore? What do you think? He reached them last year? I mean, they handpicked this guy. We want Steve Nash. Then they all turned their back on him. I'm not coming back unless you get rid of Steve Nash. Then they convinced everybody to come back and give it a try, and nobody listens to the coach because nobody thinks he's a good coach because he's never been a coach before.
Right.
But they handpicked this guy. I mean, listen, if I were Steve Nash, and did you see Steve Nash's, you see his statement earlier today that he released? It's like, hey, I want to thank Joseph Tsai. I don't know what his wife's name is, but he mentioned her by name. I want to thank the Tsai family. I want everybody to know that the Nash family is going to be rooting on the Brooklyn Nets. Go Nets. You guys should be rooting them on. You're walking away with a whole bunch of money, I'm sure, and they let you off the hook.
Yeah, listen, I would get it why, again, if it were me, if I'm the one in charge, I don't want him. You know what I mean? But sports is, you've seen it. Like, come on, you've seen a lot of people in sports do a lot of things.
George, I saw the Cleveland Browns sign a quarterback that had 24 accusations against him of sexual inappropriateness, if that's like a legal term. So teams look for great players.
But that's why I'm saying, would I do it? No. Would I be surprised if a team kicks the tires? I wouldn't. I don't know if the Lakers are one of them, but I'll tell you this. The fact that it's out there that he could be had again, I'm thinking that that's a conversation that teams will at least debate. And maybe some will be like, nope, no thanks. They'll be like you and me and be like, nah, not worth it.
And for me, it's not about anti-Semitism. Even though I'm the Hebrew brother and I should be offended by it, I put blinders onto that. It's about he's a terrible teammate.
Well, he's not a good teammate, that's for sure. By the way, there is actually one player that has basically put it out there. He's basically given the Lakers an opportunity to hear from his own voice that he would like to be part of their team. We'll tell you who next.
station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Linz, what do you got?
Well, today, the U.S. women's gymnastics team is now officially back on top of the world. 1 year after slipping to a team silver medal at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, the Americans were back atop the podium for their sixth consecutive team title earlier today at the World Gymnastics Championships in Liverpool, England. The U.S. team of Sky Blakely, Shalise Jones, Leanne Wong, and Olympians Jade Carey and Jordan Childs led the competition. With the win, the U.S. secured its spot in the Olympic Games Paris 2024 and established a record winning streak of 6 straight world titles. So congrats to the U.S. women's gymnastic team.
Isn't it always funny how we never know what's going on in sports like these until we get to the Olympics? Like, we never understand the 4 years in between. So this is actually good information. I'm glad you told us this one.
I love gymnastics.
Yeah, but I don't watch it unless it's the Olympics, right? I mean, do you watch it?
No.
And where would I watch it?
I mean, I feel like if I saw
there's
this...
like an Olympic channel somewhere.
Is it like NBC something?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that the Olympic World Championships were... I mean, not the Olympic. The national, like, the World Championships for gymnastics, these were probably on somewhere. You know?
They probably were on, like, USA or something like that.
They were
one of the
They had to be on
ABC
TV
channels.
somewhere.
They probably streamed somewhere that I could have found.
No,
if I
I
was
mean,
really
I think they
looking
were
for
on
that
one of those,
content.
like, alternate channels, something like that. It's also a completely different time zone. You know, it's in what did I say it was? In Liverpool?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
England?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Mazel tov to the women's Olympic gymnastics team. I love the sport. I do. I always
do.
wanted to do it.
I used to want to be a
You
gymnast
always wanted
so
to be a
bad.
gymnast?
Yeah, I always looked at those guys and I was like, those guys are ripped. The way they can hang from those, what do they call those rings? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way
The
they,
rings.
Yeah, the ring. Like the way they can do that.
What are they
Freaking-
called? Those rings? Yeah, the rings.
Right. And then there was that movie. Do you guys remember that movie? When
Gymkata?
what was it called?
Gymkata?
Maybe.
That's the one where he was like a karate guy, like
Right.
gymnast.
I think it might have been before that. I think it was, gosh, what was the guy's name?
No
Mitch
Retreat, No
Gaylord?
Surrender?
Mitch Gaylord. Does
Oh,
that
Mitch Gaylord, American Anthem.
American Anthem. Yes.
Yeah.
And that was, what's Wayne Gretzky's wife's name? Janet.
Janet Evans.
She's the female gymnast in that movie. That was a great
Yeah,
movie.
She's the female lead, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had anyone mention that movie in 25 years. maybe
Great movie.
longer.
Mitch Gaylord. Shout out to you, my
I
brother.
have no idea what you are talking about.
Mitch Gaylord.
American
Great
Anthem.
American.
It's like the cheesiest of cheesy sports movies you can
Don't
find.
say that, George.
It
Don't
is
say
super
that. Mitch
cheesy.
Gaylord is driving around somewhere right now,
Extra
enjoying
cheese.
Sedano and Kap, and then all of a sudden, the next thing he knows, he's being shouted out and being told he's a cheese ball.
Is it cheesier than, like, Rudy?
No, not even close to as cheesy as Rudy. Rudy's one of the
Okay.
cheesiest of all time.
Extra cheese.
That's like some Velveeta all up in it.
That's not real cheese.
Velveeta's not real cheese?
No, Cap.
No, bro.
I didn't know that.
Come on.
I thought Velveeta was a
Oh.
cheese product. Like when you go to the store and they have the individual wrapped Velveeta slices, that's not cheese?
No, there's like a little star, a little asterisk, and it says like not actual cheese product. It's like cheese byproduct.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
now
why
you're never going to eat it again?
I feel like you don't even need to have it like refrigerated.
I haven't eaten it in ages, but it used to be damn good, Velveeta.
I think it's good. I mean, I would eat some Velveeta mac and cheese. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying it's not real cheese.
I cook my
Yeah,
mac and cheese.
is
from
not
scratch,
also is not very much in like the. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm. It's not very much in the Latino like wheelhouse.
mac and cheese.
At least when I was a kid growing up,
I think
I had like abuela making me real food.
Well, okay, but if you're doing like the craft box, I get it. But I do mine from scratch, where like I have to shred the cheese, I have to put work. It's not that 10-minute instant.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The blue box.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about real stuff.
Velveeta is in a yellow box, and it's even easier to make than Kraft.
Yeah,
because you don't have to
exactly.
mix the cheese.
That's even worse. Like no. Like
the-
my
the-
mac and cheese takes hours.
Yeah,
You
I'm
gotta
not trying
bake
to. I'm not. You know, sometimes you're just not trying to do all that. You know, obviously it tastes better, but
yeah.
You know what's
Who
good in
cooks
mac
every
and
night?
cheese
I
is some
don't.
good bacon. Good bacon
used
in
to.
mac and cheese would be
Ooh,
nice.
mine has it when I do it for Thanksgiving dinner. It does have bacon in it. It's really good.
Sounds good.
Clogged arteries though, but
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to take my fat pills here in a minute.
yeah, I feel like happy.
Just for talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't taken them yet today, so
What are these fat pills you take?
I don't know. Don't ask. You don't want to know.
Okay.
You don't want to know, George, because one day you're going to have to start taking pills.
You got high blood pressure, Cap?
I didn't, but then my doctor told me I had like a little bit of high blood pressure. He's like, take these pills. I'm like, I don't want to take these pills.
Just take them, Cap.
Cappy, I know who causes your high blood pressure. Between Rachel and your kids, it's not your diet.
Yeah.
That's probably what needs to calm down is the stress level. That
I don't
you
know.
get.
I think it's mostly diet. I'm pretty sure it's mostly diet.
Stress and diet.
I mean, I'm sure you're dieting great, but
No, I'm not dieting well at all. But
I don't feel like you eat that bad.
I don't know.
Yes,
Last night I didn't eat very well. Remember yesterday I was bragging about how when I drive up to the radio station, I usually stop at Chick-fil-A, and I thought I did myself a big favor by not stopping at Chick-fil-A yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I stopped at on the way home?
Chick-fil-A.
Nope. Close, George. Close.
In-N-Out?
Yep, In-N-Out. Now, I want to say this. I'm on a diet. I'm starting to make conscious choices. You know what I had from In-N-Out?
What?
A protein burger?
I had a double plain on a protein style, right?
Yeah.
But then I had 2 of them.
No, Cap, no.
Yeah, so I had 4 total cheeseburgers, all no bread, no ketchup. I'm on a diet, no ketchup. No sugar in the ketchup. But don't worry, I had 2 burgers.
You can do the Flying Dutchman, too,
What's that?
where it's just literally the meat and the cheese and the grilled onions
And how do you eat it? How do you pick it up?
with a fork and knife.
Oh, no, I don't do that. I'm driving.
Just saying. Just
All
get
right.
1 cheeseburger, protein style, you're good.
2 of them.
You
2
eat
double
and
doubles.
drive, Cap?
Yep.
Yeah. No. No eating in my car.
Not in the new sled?
Nope. Not in the new sled.
All right.
Yeah, I eat in my car.
I don't
eat
Same.
that often, but occasionally I do eat.
Yeah. I'm not a messy eater, so I'm good. Like,
Well,
not in
you
my
got to
car.
make sure you get the right thing so that it's not messy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
You never
that's
know.
the key.
Like a double animal style, you got
Never.
big problems.
Yeah, never.
But the double protein style with nothing on it, plain, that's a very clean burger.
Light lettuce, yep, you're good.
Very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, George, just an update from earlier in the show today. Kirk Morrison was, in fact, at home
Oh, well, there you have it.
while on the show.
Okay,
I mean,
so then
say-
maybe he could have appeared like you wanted him to. But, maybe, what if he's doing the show al fresco?
When you say al fresco, what do you mean by that?
You know what I mean.
You mean like the Italian dish, like where you get it al fresco? I don't
no,
even know what
like,
that means.
not,
Not properly wardrobed?
correct.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But again, ask the guy to put on a T-shirt,
That's asking a lot.
Hey, can you get dressed, please?
Hey, I
Yeah,
feel
if
like-
I'm
on
at
the show?
home, you want me to come on
Right,
your show,
right.
Right.
I'm already asking a lot, being like, hey, I know that you're busy, probably taking care of your kids, about to make dinner or whatever, but can you come on our show? And then I could be like, now I'm going to take into your time and ask you to inconvenience yourself by putting on clothes. I just feel like that's a lot to ask.
It is a lot to ask. You're right. I know. I'm a very pushy guy.
I know that you have no problem doing it, so.
No problem. 0. No problem at all. Zippo. Anyway, George, where were we?
So there was a potential Lakers trade target who is trying to expedite the situation, let's say, on the Woj podcast recently. So Woj had Miles Turner on his pod recently, and Miles just went all thirsty. He just put it out there for everybody to hear.
If I'm the Lakers, I take a very hard look at this with the position that you're in. I know what I can provide for a team, my leadership, my shot blocking, my three-point ability, and just my ability to make plays out there on the floor. And I take a very long look at it. But as far as pulling the trigger, that's I get paid to shoot. Now, I'm not meant to make these calls, so I couldn't answer that.
So I'd take a hard look at me. Sounds like something you would say.
Which part?
Just like, you'd put it out there. Like, hey, I'm here. If you want some, come get some.
Is that what I would do? Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, I'm out here. And if you want some of this, you come get some.
Yeah.
Listen, Miles Turner, I kind of appreciate the candor, which is to say, hey, look, I know what I bring to the table. I'm a really good shooter. Okay? They pay me to shoot. I'm a good shooter. How good of a shooter is he?
Really good defender.
How good is he?
I mean, he's good for a big man. I don't know if he's he's not Steph Curry. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you something. You bring Miles Turner to the Lakers, just hypothetically, for Russell Westbrook, just mano-y-mano, just pure hypothetical here for a second.
I think you're better.
Yeah, but how much?
I mean, you're better even though you're good defensively, you're even better defensively. And yeah, you got someone that can space the floor a little bit. So that means you want Anthony Davis inside the 3-point line, right?
I want Anthony Davis close to the basket.
Correct. Right. You want him close to the basket. So Miles Turner, can also play inside close to the basket, but he's fine playing from further away, and he's a pretty good 3-point shooter, like historically like 35%, which is not great, but not bad. It's like average, I would say. But for a 7-footer to shoot that, that's pretty good. Well,
listen, I like the guy. Sounds like a very smart, young, articulate business guy. Understands the business of what he's talking about here. But I mean, listen, I'm not ready to give up on the whole LeBron, AD, Russ experiment yet, because, George, I believe that Darvin Ham is finally reaching Russell Westbrook. Now, why do I say that? Because they won one game? Not really. I say it because I hear Darvin Ham talking, and I hear a guy that is not intimidated by Russ, that is not walking on eggshells around Russ, that has the resume to earn the respect of Russ. So before I just give up on this and watch it all implode, I'd really like to see a little bit more, because I think I got the right coach to reach this kind of player. Am I alone on this? Is anybody with me? Anybody? Hello?
I think you're just looking at one game, and it's too small of a sample size. I think if you look at the whole thing leading back to last season, I think they need to move on.
But it's hard to say about last season, because they barely all played together, and Russ was not going to be coached by this coach. So now that they've got the right coach in place,
I mean, like, you honestly think this is like what do you actually think?
Well, here's what I think.
How about you tell me on the other side?
I'm glad to do so.
Okay, let's do that coming up in just a second. Stick around.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Kap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Yo, football fans, you want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with me and Sedano each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app, use code SK22 to join our show league, and start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app, use code SK22 to join the Sedano and Kap Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
Rachel tonight. You'll do what I say, Cappy. On this day in 2004, Daddy Yankee released his single, Gasolina. I don't know if it quite sounded like that, but good enough. Sedano and Kap, your Tuesday afternoon right now.
Oh, yeah. Gasolina. No, this is one of my favorite Daddy Yankee bangers.
Of course.
Yeah. Not Daddy Yankee.
The
Daddy
way
Yankee.
you said it was just great.
Banger, dude.
Do you have any other Daddy Yankee bangers that you like?
No, this is my favorite one. Gasolina.
Cappy, I was in high school.
Yeah.
I remember we were like probably junior year, maybe sophomore year. Don't recall. Really. And we got in trouble for like, in Spanish you call it perrear, right? So it's like, what is it called? Like twerking on a guy?
¿Cómo se dice en inglés?
Twerking.
Twerking. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we got so like in trouble because they were like, you guys can't play that music here, and you definitely can't be dancing like that. I'm like, oh well.
George, you throw a twerk at us on the YouTube channel or no?
No, I don't have space to do that in here.
But if you did, if you had the proper space,
Maybe.
you'd show off some moves.
Maybe.
Because you don't got them, so someone has to.
Come on. Who here can twerk?
I mean, I can't now,
I don't want to.
bro.
I don't
I'm
want to
30.
twerk with my I just recovered from a back injury. I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah, like I got knee problems, I got back problems. I'm 34. Like
I got a twerking injury.
Yeah, I don't want to add to that equation.
Don't,
Just 'cause I
listen.
got to get on a flight in a couple hours.
Don't tell me about being 34. The other day, Lindsay Baseball and I were sitting in the back office, and we were sitting there chatting. And we were both sitting. And I stood up, and my knees made these noises. I thought Lindsay Baseball was going to throw up.
It was disgusting. It went like. It was nasty, and all he did was simply just stand up. It was so gross. Like he was just like, oh, it's no big deal. Wait till you're my age. Just
Yeah.
sounded so gross.
Cappy,
Yeah?
don't feel bad. I'm 34 and my knees sound like that. I need surgery, so.
Really, I know.
Yeah.
So gross.
Cappy, I'm also
Disgusting.
disappointed you don't know another Daddy Yankee banger. You know what I mean?
I do.
That is also true.
I do. I mean, like one of my favorite, my other favorite Daddy Yankee bangers is Sábado Domingo, which I think is a great song.
Come on, how do you not know Despacito? It's like the song
Oh,
was like
Despacito is one of my
things ever.
favorites. I love Despacito.
Wait, I thought that was Justin Bieber.
He was in the remix of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it was him and Luis Fonsi. Daddy
I
Yankee.
love Despacito. Just didn't know that was Daddy Yankee.
He also did a remix of Informer called Con Calma with Snow.
Informer.
Oh, I never heard that. I need the Informer remix.
You're listening to it.
I have
Yeah, I
heard
love this song.
Yes, I have heard this.
Anybody watching the YouTube is getting a real dance show today. Me and Laura are getting down.
Oh, I'm not getting down at all.
No, you are getting
No.
down. Yeah,
if you
are.
think this is getting down, it's
That's what I think. No, that's what I
Yeah,
think.
that's sad.
I wish
Like,
the Boo
no.
was here. I wish the Boo was in the house.
He can get down.
Boo can dance.
Yes.
This
I lick
past
it, boom,
Sunday,
boom, down.
when I was at the Rams game, at halftime they had the Jabberwocky guys. You guys familiar with their
Yes,
work?
I'm familiar with them.
The Jabberwockies. Laura, I
They
think
got
the
their
Boo
own
could
store in Las Vegas in MGM Grand.
And
Yeah.
Shaq performed with them at an All-Star game
Right.
once.
Laura, I think the Boo could be a Jabberwocky.
He was a dancer before, but he also has messed up knees because he used to do pole vaulting or whatever. So.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Some kind of track and field event that he
Yep.
used to participate in.
Mm-hmm. So he has jacked up knees.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this song, Cappy? Because it is Ariel Hawani's favorite song. I remember we used to introduce him with it.
Oh, yeah.
Remember this one?
I want to say there was a UFC fighter who came into the song not that long ago.
Probably.
It does sound like, oh, I know what you mean. I feel like that's familiar to me.
So, George, if you had the proper space, the ample room where you're broadcasting from at home, if you had the space, you would twerk for us?
No.
Oh, I just thought it was a spatial issue.
I mean, it is, but I also would not.
I know Cappy would, but no one needs to see that.
Yeah, no one needs to see that. In all honesty. So.
I might even get up on a handstand and twerk.
This one also has
Get
Daddy
on a
Yankee.
handstand and
The
twerk?
way those knees cracked the other day, I'm going to have to seriously question your ability to do a handstand, Cap.
Yeah, seriously.
Why? My knees are fine, or my elbows are fine. It's my knees that are all jacked up.
Okay, so let's see it. You got the camera. Let's see it.
I don't have the room. I don't have the space here.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the space.
So what were you going to say about about the Lakers Russ situation. Right. I said, what is your expectation then? I guess like you think that they can survive this and be like good.
I think that we are 6 games into a season, 6 games into an 82-game season. You have the greatest player of his generation. You have Anthony Davis proving to everybody that he's willing to fight through injury and sacrifice for his team. And you have Russell Westbrook in the early stages of accepting a new role that he might be really good at. You know, when a starting pitcher becomes a relief pitcher, and once he gets over the ego part of it, and he goes, hey, look, I'm going to pitch 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to start the game, but they need me for 3 or 4 innings. When Russ can really get to that place where he realizes that starting is just not that important. You come off the bench, you run the second team, and you play. And I'm just not ready to give up on it yet.
Can they shoot the ball still in this equation of yours?
Not really that great.
Then that's it. That's
but
the
wait,
end of the,
but wait,
that's
but
the
here's
end
the
of
question.
discussion.
But how much better does Miles Turner make them?
He certainly can shoot better than Russ.
But I know, but dude, he's a 6'11" big man. You don't need him out there shooting. I mean, if you're
As a matter of fact,
on
no. As a matter of fact, if you want, I just told you, if you want Anthony Davis closer to the basket, that's exactly the type of player you want on this team.
I feel like I'd rather have like a real lethal shooter rather than a big man who's capable of doing some shooting.
The whole point is that you get him and Buddy Hield. Like that's the.
Well, now Buddy Hield is another story, but we were
right,
talking
but you're
about
getting them together, is what I'm saying. And now all of a sudden, there's more gravity to those particular shooters.
All I'm saying is, I'm happy that the Lakers, for this year, would stay put and see what happens. And do not give up any of those draft choices going into the future. Make your way through the season. When the season's over, you no longer have Russ's contract. You've got all that money to spend, and you got to put everything you can into the final 2 years of LeBron's career. That's my opinion. Because what you're saying is that Miles Turner and Buddy Hield come to the Lakers, and I'll ask you this so I don't put words in your mouth. Are they a championship contender with those 2 guys on this roster?
They're not, but I mean, so you want to just waste another year of Lakers basketball?
What is wasting? I mean, if you don't make the playoffs versus if you make the play-in versus if you're lucky enough to get into a 6 seed and you get knocked out in the first round, like I thought everything about Lakers basketball was about winning championships.
Right, but if you're not in the play-in, you're giving yourself a shot at least.
So there's no chance that this team, as it is right now, 6 games into the season, there's no chance this team can make the play-in.
No, I mean make the play-in. Could they be a top 10 team? Maybe, but I don't feel super confident in that either.
George, I'm sometimes I make the mistake of staying in too long. I will acknowledge that.
Yeah, you're the guy at the blackjack table that after you had a hot kind of, run basically, and a hot deck, and you're like, let's keep going, and then you lose like a quarter of your stack, and you're like, let's keep going.
Or
and
how about this?
Half your stack, let's keep going, and then
right.
it's all gone.
Right, like a stock. Hey, that stock was $150 a share. It's down to $125. It'll be back. It's down to $100. It's still going to come back. Yeah. It's down to $75. Maybe I should buy more. It's down to $50. No. Don't worry. It's still coming back sometime. Yeah. Sometime it will, maybe. And then even at 0, you're like, okay, well, I'm not quite as confident, but I still think it's going to come back.
Right. But you, I feel like this is you talking about Peloton or something.
You mean like the Peloton stock?
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I sold it pretty high.
I'm not holding. But I am holding some other stuff that I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to look. Like 2 or 3 years from now, I'll look. But right now, I'm not looking.
No, I hear you. But what I'm just saying is, like, this is not that. Like, Russell Westbrook is not like some hot stock at this stage of his life.
No, but he did something on Sunday that I've not seen him do.
What, be happy in a Lakers uniform?
Correct.
In a game?
Correct.
Okay. Cool. That's one game.
That's one game. So now, let's see what happens tomorrow. Okay. Let's see what happens on Friday. Okay. And let's see where we are at the end of this week. And, can the Lakers surprise some people and win some games that most people don't think they're going to be able to win, like against New Orleans, as an example. Mm-hmm. Certainly based on what New Orleans did to them last year.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean,
hey, George, I'm the ultimate optimist. What can I tell you, pal?
Yeah. You know what, you are the ultimate flip-flopper on them, because you literally go, and it's not like you were like, at the beginning, it was like, oh, it's only 3 games, and then you turned on them, and now you're like, oh, let's give it more of a shot.
Well, I turned on them because it's like, oh, he's hurt. Oh, he's really hurt now. I'm like, yeah, I'm not so sure about that. It could be his ego's hurt more than his hamstring is hurt.
No, but it wasn't that. It's just the shooting was so bad.
George?
You can't win in the NBA in 2022 if you don't forget about, like, they don't even have average shooting.
Come on.
If you had average shooting, I would give you that.
Come on.
But they have, like, way below average shooting.
It's early, George. It's early. Lots of improvement coming. Lots of coaching coming.
Okay. You think that's going to work itself out? All right, cool.
Am I by myself? Is there anybody that's with me on this that wants the Lakers to stay put?
Oh, no, I think people wanted to stay put just so that way you don't give up the assets and you can just, like, move on. But I don't know how.
Is there anybody hopeful that maybe this could come together and these guys could surprise a whole bunch of people? Because nobody thinks they're going to compete for a championship. This year's success is make the playoffs. I mean, that is pathetic, man. Come on. The Lakers' success would be just make the playoffs? What has happened here? What has happened?
I'll tell you what happens. Is that they went all in for a championship, and it didn't work out. And it worked out for the championship, but after the fact, everything has kind of gone wrong for them from an injury perspective, and then some bad trades and decisions with the roster. It is what it is. But you can soak your sorrows with my friends at Tequila Mandala. Award-winning, artisanal, small batch premium sipping tequila, founded by a couple of guys just like you. One from Jalisco, Mexico, the other born and raised here in SoCal, down in Downey, with a vision to create a sippy tequila meant for sharing with friends and loved ones. And here's the deal. You've heard me talk about it. You've heard me share it with my in-laws and my friends and family. Everybody who's come around the house, they're like, yo, what's that bottle? It's beautiful. I'm like, wait till you taste the nectar of the gods inside. And actually, my brother-in-law hit me up the other day. He sent me a picture. He's like, yo, got the extra añejo. I'm in. And you guys on Twitter have been doing the same thing, sending us your pics of the Tequila Mandala bottles you're buying, whether it's the Blanco, the Reposado, the Añejo, or the Extra Añejo. And by the way, as I mentioned just a little while ago during Radio Tinder, they've got the beautiful commemorative Dia de los Muertos edition as well. And those things are flying off the shelves. So if you want to get one, follow their journey on social media at Tequila Mandala and go to their website, tequilamandala.com, to find a store or a restaurant near you. Celebrate with Tequila Mandala today. Available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. Tequila Mandala. Demand the extraordinary. We're back with Big Deal or No Deal in
Terranea Resort prize package. You get lunch and dinner for 2 at Terranea Resort, plus archery for 2 at the Beach Cove, and you qualify to win the grand prize for the week, a luxury oceanfront getaway to Terranea Resort, 2-night stay in an Ocean View suite, Lexus LC to drive for the weekend, golf at the links, dinner at Catalina Kitchen, and limo service for a very special evening at Crypto.com. Qualify today. We'll announce the grand prize winner on Friday. We'll do Lie of the Day every day this week.
Big deal or no deal? Take it away, Sedano.
Sedano. Time for Big Deal or No Deal here on Sedano and Cap. And that means Lindsay Baseball standing by. Linz?
Thanks, Cappy. And just like Pat Bev, I'm super excited.
Super excited.
All right, so we talked a little bit about this yesterday, about Elon Musk buying Twitter and some of the things that may or may not happen under his reign. And after announcing that Twitter verification on the platform will cost users a monthly fee of $20 a month, Elon Musk has bumped the price down for Twitter Blue. Users will now have to pay only $8 if they want to be verified on the app, in addition to priority in replies, mentions in search, and the ability to post long video and audio. Well, a lot of people are weighing in on this, including author Stephen King, who tweeted, quote, $20 a month to keep my blue check? Bleep that, they should pay me. If that gets instituted, I'm gone like Enron. So is this whole situation with having to pay for these various things on Twitter a big deal or no deal, Cappy?
I'll start off by saying big deal because people have become accustomed to Twitter being a free service. And just like Stephen King said, every time somebody tweets, whether you have one follower or 1 billion followers, Twitter makes money. And so somebody like Stephen King is like, yeah, so you should be paying me to put all my content on your platform. And a lot of people feel that way. And some people actually can monetize it. I mean, if Kim Kardashian wants to send out a tweet with her favorite shampoo, she get paid $100,000. If Dwayne Johnson wants to send out a tweet with his favorite whatever, he can get paid big money. But everybody's contributing to their success. So, yeah, I feel like I'm super interested to see what happens if people do kind of leave the platform and look for other alternatives.
Well, celebrities are already starting to leave the platform, and I texted you guys in our little group chat last night that I find it kind of interesting timing that the former CEO and like the founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, yesterday he started the what's it called, the beta version for his new social media platform. I think it's called Blue Sky or Sky Blue, one of the two. Mm-hmm. And I guess a lot of celebrities are already saying like, man, Elon Musk is running Twitter now, like I'm out. So I wouldn't be surprised if that starts to happen, especially if he's making people pay for it. It's kind of silly.
I think if Jack Dorsey starts his new thing, and people could flock to that, and that could become the new Twitter. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to stick around just to see what happens. By the way, I got a note from, or an update from like the ESPN TV, like social media platform team, that they're investigating how the validity to this claim that they're going to charge people for verifications and all that stuff.
Yeah, it seems kind of ridiculous. And I know Elon Musk was going on like a spree.
Well, by the way, how about, do we love the fact that he went from $20 to $8 already?
Right. He was like, because Stephen King tweeted that, and then he was like, how about $8? So he said, well, we got to pay the bills. We got to make money. Like, there's got to be a way for Twitter to make money aside from paid advertisements.
Well, like, think about this. When Elon Musk says, hey, I'm going to put out a new vehicle, tons of people will put down deposits for that vehicle. Whether or not they ultimately buy the vehicle is a different story, but they want to get in line. And all of a sudden, Elon Musk goes from having $0 in this equation to having millions and millions and millions of dollars just based on deposits that people make. So he's a smart guy who knows how to monetize everything he does. And he's looking at this and going, why do we give this all away for free?
Yeah, I just feel like social media is one of those things where obviously it's a private company. He can do what he wants, but he's a dummy if he thinks that people are just going to be like, oh, okay, we have to pay it because we have to, because it's there. Because there's plenty of smart geniuses, people, whatever, out there that are going to create a competitor. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, Twitter's just one of many forms of social media, and people aren't, I don't know, I just don't think that, like, in general, I don't see people paying for it. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Instagram has ads, and people don't complain. I know many people that actually click, a ton of people that click on those Instagram ads because the algorithm puts it to stuff you want.
I did the other day. I bought some dog treats on there.
The other day when I was at that Rams game, I was sitting there with one of our sales guys, a gentleman by the name of Mark Cates, who's about to run the New York City Marathon this upcoming weekend for Alzheimer's research. So we should all make some donations. But anyway, that aside, I go, hey, man, cool shoes. He goes, yeah, I bought them off Instagram. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. They popped up on my Instagram feed. He goes, those are dope. I'm going to buy them.
Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff on Instagram, to be honest. I can't think of all of them right now, but dog treats were the most recent one. All right, next one. Cappy, this one's specifically for you because I know that you're very passionate about this topic, right? So the host of ABC's The View celebrated Halloween this year by dressing as famous female television characters during a segment in which kids dressed up in costumes inspired by the talk show's Hot Topics segment. The show trotted out a young boy dressed as the Oscar Slap. The costume was a gold bodysuit to make the kid look like an Oscar statue, plus a red handprint painted on his face to emulate Will Smith's slap of Chris Rock. This, had people on social media all up in arms, where half of them thought that it was very funny. The other half was like, oh, this is so disrespectful. This is too soon. But again, the point of the segment was like Hot Topics turned into Halloween costumes. So is this a big deal or no deal, Cappy?
No deal for me. I mean, I applaud the creativity, but I would be the guy that would be like, so what are you? Wait, what do you mean? You're the Oscar who
Come
got
on,
slapped?
you don't think that that's pretty obvious if he's dressed like an Oscar and he has a red handprint on his face? I feel like that's very obvious.
No, because the guy who got slapped was Chris Rock, not the Oscar.
Sure, but I definitely would make the connection.
You're the Oscar slap.
Sedano, would you make the connection?
Yes, very easily. Cappy's like, can I ask you a question? What is the whole Oscar thing with the red thing?
So how did you come to this conclusion?
Right. What is this costume that you are wearing today, and how should I know this?
What went into this decision to create this costume? Did your parents help you, or?
Don't forget, I'd also ask how much did it all cost.
And how do you feel about Will Smith?
Correct.
Wait, what are you doing? What are we doing? That's his thing. So.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Let me get this straight.
That's a good one.
Sorry, Cap. That was funny.
No, it's okay. I have an entire list of Sedano-isms I can break out at
Oh,
any time.
yes, we know. You've already used them a million times.
Yeah. Well,
but it's
I've
okay.
got an entire list of them here,
We found many of them on the Sedano and Cap Spirit Halloween meme.
Yeah.
Costumes.
They will probably pop up on his shirt shop or something, Just
Yeah. You can't use any of mine on your shirt shop.
You can't?
I'll sue your ass.
Really?
Or mine.
Oh,
Or Lindsay.
100% I will sue your ass.
Hella sus I can't use?
That's
Nah.
Laura's. I'll
Or
sue.
adjacent.
I'll
Nope.
pay for the attorney for her.
How
Thank
about if I use for the love of God?
Nope.
Any way, shape, or form?
Nope.
I think two things can be true?
Nope.
By any stretch of the imagination?
Nope.
I'm not an absolutist?
Nope.
Greatest predictor of future injury is past injury?
Nope.
Okay.
Especially not that one.
Are you literally reading off of a list?
Sitting through the
I have a list. I have
He's
an
like, I'm
entire
actually
list.
on my shop right now.
I have a list. I have a list of
It's
Sedano-isms.
not yet
It's like I
gone
sent it
live.
to the printer.
Yep.
And if you guys were
Waiting for
interacting,
orders.
if you were interacting on the YouTube channel, you'd see that I was reading my list.
Well, I'm working the board, Cappy. I can't be on the chat.
kind of producing the
Yeah.
show, but
I mean, yeah. Like, we're
But,
all
I
trying to do
mean,
stuff.
you have a little bit more time to do that. We can't back here. Just saying.
All right.
Yeah.
So last one here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sticking in the Halloween theme, Gwyneth Paltrow was in the Halloween spirit when she dropped by Jimmy Kimmel last night, coming dressed as Winnie the Pooh. They got on the topic of trick-or-treating since she had parents who were famous in Hollywood. Here is how that conversation went.
Would you be with other, celebrity kids and knocking on Jack Nicholson's door or whatever?
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to live on our street.
He
so,
did?
Yeah, we would knock on his door for candy.
Would he give out cigars or... I bet he gave out great stuff, huh?
I don't remember him giving out stuff, but he's Austrian, so maybe they don't, celebrate there.
Oh, wow. That's very surprising to me. That
We
Arnold...
did end up TPing his house, though.
You did? Does he know this now?
Don't tell him. Please.
You toilet papered Arnold Schwarzenegger's
We
house.
did. We did, unfortunately, to a few houses there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. But he was our, pride and joy.
Sure, yeah. You tell everybody we got the Terminator's house.
Oh, that's great.
So,
that was really funny.
I don't think that this is necessarily a big deal, but I thought it was pretty funny. So when you
it's
guys,
hilarious.
when you guys were kids, did you TP people's houses?
We did once, but only because we found out who did it to one of my best friend's house, and we just it was retaliation.
Yeah, I TP'd houses too, but I don't feel good about it now. I feel like I should go back and apologize because I've had teenage kids and I've had my house TP'd plenty of times. I've walked out of my house and gone, what the hell? And it was everywhere. And, of course, I re-rolled it up and put it in my car just in case of emergencies.
Yeah,
With
we
your
know,
extra
yeah, of course.
underpants.
With my underpants.
We used to do it all the time, especially even in high school. If a guy dumped one of my friends, and he was a jerk, we would go toilet paper his house. And I remember one night we were in the middle of toilet papering a house, and one of my rolls got stuck up in the tree, so I had to climb into the tree to get it. And as I was climbing in the tree, the cops came, and everybody scattered and ran away, and I was in the tree. So I had to just, like, stand in the tree all scared, like, super still and super quiet, while the cop, like, walked around with his flashlight, and thank God he did not catch me, because I would have been in so much trouble.
I've never done it. Never.
It's
TP'd
exhilarating.
anybody.
It's quite the adrenaline rush.
When I used to work in Pasadena, long time ago, you know, like by San Marino and all that area.
Yeah, San Marino. Part of
I remember there was like by the where the honey baked is, there was like literally like 7 houses that were all teepeed, and people looked miserable taking that thing off.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
So
it's hard
I
getting
was
it
just
off.
like, never. I've never done it. Luckily, it's never done to my parents, and I'm like, I would never want to do that. to
Dude,
somebody.
being on the receiving end of being TP'd, especially if it's like a bunch of kids and a lot of toilet paper because they went to Costco. Oh my God, forget about it, dude. It could take forever to take the toilet paper down, especially if you got big trees going. What a pain in the ass.
That area does, right, George? Those big trees. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, huge trees, no doubt.
The
Poor
worst
people.
is when, and we would always try and plan it out to do it right before it rained, because then it would get
Oh,
stuck
dude.
to the
Damn.
trees.
Oh, Lindsay, you are
Oh
a pain
yeah,
in the ass.
yeah. Don't
My
mess with my
God.
friends or me for that matter. It was fun.
Yeah.
Good times.
Never did it. I'm the good one here.
You are good.
Yeah, I am. Sometimes.
Lindsay's bad.
I was mischievous, but you know what? You only live once. It was fun.
You do only live once. YOLO.
It was fun. I had a great time toilet
YOLO.
papering people's houses. And even, like, we would take, you know, if they had, like, the school board elections and stuff, we would, like, go around and collect a bunch of signs at night, and then we would stick a whole bunch of them in one person's yard just so they'd have to clean them all up. That was kind of funny, too.
Yeah, I mean, we did stupid stuff also, but TPing people's houses, just because now that I've been on the receiving end of so many TPs, not happy about it.
It's not like I did, like, anything. I don't think it's that bad. Like, it could have been way worse. It's not like I was, like, egging people's houses or breaking
that's
windows,
worse?
you know?
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like egging is way worse because that would stink and smell. Like cleaning it up would be, ugh, no.
Do you guys do the poop on the door?
No, and my brother used to do that all the time.
No, that's
My brother did that a lot. And they would video it.
Your brother would do it a lot?
Oh, yeah, he would. And he would also do the thing where they put, like, dog poop on the bottom of, like, a bill and then put fishing line on it and then, like, watch people pick it up, and he would, like, tape it.
It's so gross.
I will tell you the worst thing I did. I had my cousin Evan, I was telling you about the other day, who exfoliates for 47 minutes a day, that guy.
Right.
He used to take fire hydrants and spray out all the whatever's in a fire hydrant, and then, like, open it up and fill it with water and then, like, pump it up. I don't know how he exactly did this, and because then it would make, like, a really powerful hose.
Yeah.
And on, like, a Saturday night for kicks, we would go, like, driving down the street, and he'd, like, pop out of the back of a car and, like, spray somebody who was walking down the street or, like, you know, riding a bike. And we all thought that was really funny. What a bunch of jerks. We should have gotten our asses kicked.
Probably.
No, it's just, you know, good kid fun. It's not like you were doing anything bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, my brother also used to, they lit firecrackers, too. Like, not the ones that are going to, like, blow up and hurt you, but, like, just the ones that, like, you know, make a really loud noise. I remember we'd go camping, and they would go around to campfires, people that are, like, falling asleep, passed out at the campfire, and he would put them under people's chairs. There's this really funny video of my uncle. He was completely sleeping, and all of a sudden he woke up, and he was like, oh, because he was dead asleep, and the firecrackers went off. My brother he was way worse than me. I would never do that.
When the time we did TP somebody's house, because it was like the revenge tactic, we had like a tactical setup. Like the guy lived like right around the corner from like a strip mall, so we had like a crew there with the car, like 2 sets of cars. We had a car that would drop people off and then, you know, like go, and then the next car would come and just pick them up. We had pagers back then, and we had one friend with a cell phone. So, like, he would call the pager, and then that's when you knew the other car had to go from the strip mall, and then, like, and it was like a tactical, like, thing. Like, it was
Wow,
like
it sounds like a military operation
strike.
you were involved in.
Yeah. It really felt that way. Yeah.
Guys ever hit people's mailboxes with baseball bats?
No,
that's
I did not
terrible.
do that. That's bad, yeah.
Although I had a friend who was so bad at driving that he absolutely took out one of my like friends' parents' mailbox by accident. Like, he just completely like didn't see it. And it was like a brick one, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And like he crashed right into it. This poor girl's family was just like,
It's a federal crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was.
That's
yes.
crazy. The
But
one thing that
you missed
my
it, yeah.
mom's house that they started doing was like not tilting, but like throwing over the trash bins.
Oh,
So
yeah,
all the
yeah.
trash would be on the floor. I'm like, who does that? Like, who has the time or the energy to do all that?
Oh no.
'Cause then, like, the
stupid teenagers, the stuff we used to do, man.
It was fun
I
though.
never did that.
fun.
Like, I don't know.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, no one got hurt.
Okay,
You know?
nobody got hurt, but then like I would have to go clean it in the morning. My brother had to go clean.
Right,
my
right,
dad.
Yeah, and then
you
we'd
know.
laugh while you cleaned it up.
You know.
I'll tell you the worst, man. During Christmas, me and the other Hebrew brothers, we'd find people's houses that were all decorated with like nativity scenes and stuff, and like take some pieces and put them on other people's lawns.
Well, kids have done that forever. So.
That's so bad.
Yeah,
Hurry up, get baby Jesus.
People
Hurry up,
take stuff from people's lawns all the time, move them around, and Halloween stuff or whatever. So, all right, we're done here. We're way over the break. All right, that is Big Deal, No Deal each and every day at 6:30. Coming up next, final segment. So, college football rankings are out, playoff rankings are out. Where's USC? Where's UCLA? And where are the Pac-12 teams in general? We'll touch on that coming.
Sedano and Kap more at 4 p.m.
It is Sedano and Kap Tuesday afternoon, final segment of the show. National Cook for Your Pets Day. And happy 50th birthday, Jenny McCarthy. 50. Wow. What was the show on MTV when we were kids? Singled Out? Was that the show? Anyway, of course, we're going to play it because you know how Sedano loves when we play Elvis. On this day in 1969, the number one hit and one of the greatest songs he ever made. Elvis Presley, the King. Hey, King. Suspicious Minds.
Real suspicious minds.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Sedano and Kap continues now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good karaoke song, by the way, for anybody that's going karaokeing tonight or ever. Why can't you see?
Go ahead, sing it, Cappy,
Come
because
on.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know
What
the
you
song that
doing
well.
to me?
Yeah.
I'm so fat and juicy right now, I would fit perfectly into one of those
Whoa.
Elvis jumpsuits. What's up, Laura?
I was gonna say something because you usually butcher impersonations, but this one, I feel like Elvis really did sound like that. But then you said something, and I'm like, my mind just went. Sorry.
Fat and juicy.
I'm not saying anything now.
Definitely would fit right into that jumpsuit. Looking good, too. So, hey, George, I know that you, probably like so many other sports fans in L.A., probably don't even care about the World Series, right?
Nope. Yeah. I mean, I will look. I've said that if it's on a night where there's no interesting NBA games and there's no football, then I'm in.
Okay, so I was watching the Brooklyn-Chicago NBA game.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about Kyrie, and I got really frustrated because I can't stand him.
Yeah.
And so I left, and I went over to Fox, who has the World Series.
You don't have League Pass, right?
I don't.
Oh, because there's like a really good Heat Warriors game right now. It's tied at 109 with 2 minutes to go.
Oh, wow, that is a good game. It's only on the League Pass, or I can't find it on?
Yeah, it's on League Pass, yeah.
Well, so anyway, I left TNT, which had Brooklyn-Chicago, and I went over to Fox, where they've got the Phillies and the Astros.
Right.
And so I know nobody's going to be watching, but I'm going to keep my eye on it because it's more interesting than a 7th regular season NBA basketball game. Philadelphia 7, Houston 0, bottom of the 5th. 7-zip, Phillies.
Good.
Philadelphia.
I hope Philly wins.
What a year
I think everybody in
Philadelphia's
LA is hoping for Philly to win for the most
Right.
part.
What a year. Philadelphia. The Phillies are in the World Series. The Eagles are considered by most to be the best team in the NFC, and their soccer team is playing Saturday against the LAFC. Against the LAFC in the bank. A chance for a championship for the LAFC.
Go black and gold, just saying.
Black and gold.
At the bank.
I put on my Instagram today my my box that was sent from the LAFC. George,
Yeah.
you like the scarf you got, huh?
I did. It's very nice.
Scarf is really fire, I think. I'm showing it right now to everybody who's watching on YouTube. I do like the scarf. Anyway, you were about to talk about USC and the college football playoff.
Oh, yeah. So USC's the highest-ranking Pac-12 team is Oregon. They are number 8. USC is right behind them at 9. UCLA at 12, and I believe Utah at 14. So the top 4 Pac-12 teams are right in it, and we're about 2 weeks away, basically, from finding out who the 2 teams in the Pac-12 championship are going to be.
Sitting here playing with this scarf. Do you know that the price tag is still on this scarf that we received, George?
I did not. No,
Don't say it.
How much do you think a scarf costs?
Well, for you, it was free, so I think you shouldn't worry about that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that out loud.
Yeah, don't.
Why?
Like that's
It's
not
tacky.
that
What's
is super tacky. Actually,
Yes.
yeah.
That's a good, perfect word for it. Because it's
Why?
a free gift for you, Cap, and it's like, hey, here's a free gift, so because, we want you to get excited about LAFC, and you're like, oh, this is really expensive.
Well, I didn't say that it was really expensive. I was
Yeah, but
saying,
just
what do you
you
suppose?
implied.
What do you
Yeah,
suppose
but
one of these things
let's
costs?
not. How about we just don't do that?
Yeah, it's a nice
Guys
gift.
are
That's
so
just
lame.
not. Why are we lame? You're the lame one being a tacky ass trying to tell people what it costs.
I just love how you guys. You know how you said how Clinton's not the arbiter of cool. How come you always get to be the arbiter of what is cool, what isn't, what's tacky, what's not? Dude, it's interesting.
I'm not the arbiter of it, but I would say, like, do you think that's good etiquette to say that?
Why not? What's it matter? I mean, do people
my
know what these
God.
things cost? I mean, I didn't know what it cost. I was surprised the price
People
tag
can
is
look
on
it up
there.
online, bro.
Who cares?
It's a free gift.
Why is it tacky? Why is it
I
tacky?
just thought
I
it
don't
was
understand.
tacky. Sorry, Cappy.
No, it is.
Okay.
It's true, though.
It's all right.
Not trying to go all like, oh, you guys all gang up on me, but I'm
No,
with
it's
them
no
on this
gang
one.
up on me. I don't care. I have no I don't care. I mean, listen, I don't find it to be tacky. They sent a gift. It had a price tag on it. I would have no idea what does it cost for a scarf from the LAFC until I noticed that the price tag was still on it. And by the way, let me just say, thanks a lot, LAFC. That was really, really sweet of you guys.
Probably
to send
should have
such a
started
beautiful,
that on the front end.
such a
is what I
beautiful
would say.
box that you guys sent. It was really wonderful.
Yeah, like, honestly, I thought it was, because Sedano had his jersey the other day. We got him, like, a few years ago, and I have mine. My dad loved it, and he wanted to take mine. I was like, no. So I bought him one. Like, you know what I mean? And the price was on that one. I didn't care. I'm like, I got a gifted one. I'm not going to be like, hey, this is what it cost them, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just tacky.
Oh,
And by the way, nobody's the arbiter of anything, but when all three of us feel like it's kind of tacky, like there's
when all
probably
three of
something
you feel,
to it.
No, that's actually good for me. I actually like it when it's all three of you. It always tells me that I'm okay. I'm all right.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Cap, I would say, generally speaking, you saying, like, I don't find it tacky, I feel like that's something that you generally lack in these
What's
situations.
tact? I lack what?
Tact.
Lindsay, I will tell you honestly on the air, coming from you, that means jack squat to me. Just so you know.
Oh,
just so you know.
Whoa,
Just so
tell
you
me
know.
how you
Jack
guess
squat,
I hit a nerve.
not jack
Tell
squat.
me how you really feel all
Not
day
one,
today.
not one. That gives me no. I have no issue with that at all. In fact, now I'm even sure it wasn't tacky.
Okay. Well, you go ahead and say what
All
you
right,
want
we
to
have
say.
to
Then
go.
we won't warn you anymore.
Thank you.
All right.
Like you
Go
say,
tell
you do
people-
you.
Go do you, Cappy.
I'm going to do me right now.
All right, see ya.